Good evening. Good evening. How you doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Life and Basketball. Now, on this show, Life and Basketball, what we do is we talk about how both basketball as well as life are synergistic and how they both play so much into each other. And we bring on athletes, we bring on coaches, and we just let them share their story of how a little bitty orange basketball helped change their lives and then sometimes even save their lives, and how now they use those same techniques and those same principles to be able to help other people throughout life. And so, again, my name is Coach Carvel Bailey. The show is being brought to you by Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy, where we help parents of unrecruited or under-recruited student athletes save money on college by helping them get the right scholarship for them. And the show is also being brought to you by my first book, Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. Again, everybody I bring on this show, they understand this. They probably live by this, was probably taught by this. I just happened to put the title on a book and put some principles in a book that can help not only athletes or parents or players become better athletes, and better basketball players, but also better people. So the show is being brought to you by my first book, Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. I'll post a link to where you can get the book a little bit later. But I am extremely proud. I'm extremely proud to have this special guest on tonight. Personally, I've known this gentleman probably since I was like 2 or 3, hanging with my brother and my cousins. They were older, moving around and, the city and which we lived in. And we'll get to that in a minute. But this individual has always been a household name. I mean, his infectious smile, his community activism, community work. And notice we haven't even talked about the basketball, but from the basketball side, college standout, champion, national champion, pro player, as well as I would say somebody that has left their mark not only on the game of basketball, but to all of those around that have been a part of the game of basketball. He finds some way, somehow, to continue to give back. And his understanding of the importance of service is like well beyond me. And so I am proud, extremely proud tonight to be able to present to most and introduce to others somebody that has helped me not only in my life, but has helped people that I know in their life become better. So again, I want to present to most and introduce some my man, Jobba Jordan or Jobba Maxey. Hey, how you doing tonight, baby?
What's going on, man? Hey, man, hey, that was the best intro I ever had in my life. It only sound like that when I was playing high school and college and nothing. Man, that's awesome, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, I am doing amazing, man. I am doing amazing, and I'm extremely happy. Like I say, happy to have you on. It's certain people that all of my guests, I love them, and that's why I have them on. But as I said, you kind of hold a special place because childhood, like just understanding, the struggle. And, back then we didn't really think it was a struggle, and, we'll get into it, but just, somebody of your stature. And I don't mean by, what people may think fame, but just in terms of your heart and how much people know you for being genuine, man. So I definitely appreciate you being on. But for those people that may just know you as Jobba Jordan, and we'll get into that in a minute, who exactly is Jobba Maxey, the man?
Man, just a simple guy, a simple dude, man. From Harvey, and I always tell the guys, because I'm always competing with the guys in Chicago, and everybody should think I'm from Chicago, but yeah. I'm from Harvey, man, right. And I love my city. We call it Harvey World, and I'm just a simple dude that's genuine. grew up in a solid household with two brothers. My dad, was around. My stepdad and my mom, and we come from a close knit. I come from a close knit family, and we were just all about love, man, and friendship. My whole life, nothing else, man. Just love and friendship.
Yeah, I love it, man. Love and friendship. And so the title of this episode, this is our 4th season. This is episode 22. And I always
congratulations too, bro. Congratulations, bro. This is big.
Man, I definitely appreciate it. And I always title the episodes kind of based on the individual that I'm talking to. And so, the title of this episode is Hoops, the Harvey Way. And you just mentioned it, and actually high level hoops, the Harvey way. And you mentioned it, from Harvey, and I mean, it's probably different now, but let's start there. Growing up in Harvey, like, how did Harvey mold you into the man that we see now? If it's going to the Harvey Theater, and we're gonna talk about Cooper Park in a minute, but just the foundation of Harvey. And as I said, people knew Jobba and Jeff. It wasn't Jobba or Jeff, it was Jobba and Jeff. My brother Stan, cousin Jerron, y'all around the same age. And so just me knowing, okay, Jobba and Jeff, riding our bikes and everything. But how did growing up in a little town called Harvey, like, mold you into the man that you are today?
Well, when we say Harvey, man, we mentioned Harvey World. It was like Harvey was a world to me. I everywhere we went, we had our theater. We had Dixie Square. I was fortunate to go to McKinley before they tore down and they filmed Blues Brothers back in '79. Then I transferred over to King, and then from there, I went to a private school where my mother really couldn't afford it, and she would come and work in the lunchroom just so we can go to a private school for a couple of years, and so we can get the best of both worlds, as far as our education growing up. But growing up in Harvey, man, it was everything involved, man. We wasn't no different than Chicago, but we was a close-knit city. Everybody knew each other, and we played hard. We was real organic. We did the stuff like two-hand touch in the street football, tackle in the grass, play off the wall, and riding our bikes, jumping ramps in the alleys. And man, I want to say I probably as a kid got into everything, man. I mean, from the sports faction to trying to do even some illegal things that, I didn't know because I didn't have no big brothers. I was the oldest of 3. And so I was actually my brother's teacher. So, the things that I've been through, and they saw the things that I was going through coming up as a kid. And so I really helped them, along the way. But man, growing up in Harvey, a lot of my friends in the city, they'll tell you, they're like, man, Jobba, they're like, man, Harvey is the city. They say Harvey is the city because, it's a world, it's a city within a world, and it was unbelievable, man. And I was the average kid, but I got into a lot of things, man. And I think, and I want to say that my friends growing up along the way, a lot didn't make it. A lot of my friends didn't make it due to gun violence and gangs and stuff like that. And I lost a lot of friends due to that. And it was valuable lessons. When you lose someone that's near and dear to you, it kind of changes you and have you go into another direction and everything like that. But other than that, man, it was fun growing up in Harvey, man. We did everything, man. Everything.
Absolutely, man. Man, I learned how to make nunchucks. You come out nunchucks. Everybody in front of the theater doing karate. We going home.
Hey, bro. Hey, hold on. You know what? Hey, you just gave me a memory. See, that's crazy because you say some stuff and then bring back an old memory. It was a dude. It was a dude in the hood, man, named Darnell. Yeah, he used to walk around with the karate suit on and those black karate shoes. Yeah, right. So we saved up some money, got some karate shoes, and he used to come to our backyard and teach us karate, man. We used to think we was black belts.
Yeah, I remember that, man. It used to be like the black Bruce Lee. He used to walk around
Yeah,
with his
yeah, with
whole,
the stuff on,
his
yeah,
whole
man.
outfit on. Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah,
whole time. But I mean, it was fun times. I mean, riding. Swins had first came out. If
with
you
the
have,
flags on it,
yeah, with
put
the
the
flags
stretchers
on,
on the bike.
Billy, and the whole deal. Now, and really, like our claim to fame at that particular time was the Blues Brothers at Dixie Square. You know what I'm
You
saying?
doggone right. That was our claim to fame.
Yeah, to remember like going in, because I remember, my dad and my mom, going in because we was on 154th and Paulina, and my granny stayed. That corner house is still there.
Yeah,
House 153rd
yeah.
and Ashton. But we used to, like just the foundation, as you said, we were originals, and me being so young back then, hanging out with
You was a part of you was a part of that thread.
yeah, hanging out with people. My brother actually said that he saw Turkey's mom, the other day, and they still live in the same crib, and it's
Yeah, my mama stayed right across the street from them, still
yep,
to this day. The house
yep,
we grew up in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So man, I mean, just so I just wanted to know just how, the foundation, because we're gonna go somewhere tonight, but it starts with the foundation, and part of that foundation, just from an athletic point, if it's playing strikeout, playing football in the street, building clubhouses, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I did all of that.
The tree house, but basketball was something that we kind of came back to, and kind of the root of basketball in Harvey was Cooper Park. So, like, can you talk about like what Cooper Park means to you?
Oh, most definitely, man. When I was younger, so Harvey, Ashland is like the central part of Harvey. So Harvey had different sides.
Right.
So, like, if you talk about the village, where Deshaun Baker and Bud Portis and Ty Strong and all those guys, I could never go in the village and win a game. Like the village had some hoopers in that little area that was so cold, it was unbelievable, bro. So Johnny Morgan and all those guys, right? But me and Jeff was in the central part of Harvey, so we used to go down to Ashland Park in Little League. And then I never forget this dude named Darion. He went to Western Illinois. This dude here, he shorter than me at the time. And in Cooper Park, they got those wooden beams across where you couldn't shoot a high arcing jump shot. They had to shoot like a line drive jump shot. So by this time, man, I was just getting my little hops together. Man, I go in there, I'm a shorty. Man, Darion told me off. I mean, I promise you, he gave me buckets like he was Gilbert Arenas. He told me off.
Yeah.
And I walked home, because we just walked. I mean, walking was nothing to us.
Easy.
Man, I walked home. I didn't know who he was. I came back. Second time I came back, I watched him play.
Yeah.
And then he played with this dude named Lou, Old Man Lou, Older Lou. They should rename Cooper Park. That's a disclaimer, but they should,
after him, yeah.
They should rename Cooper Park after Lou. Lou is still living. He a legend in my eyes at Cooper Park. Lou probably scored more points than got more buckets than anybody in Cooper Park history. But Lou and Darion and Boo Robinson and those guys from Dixmoor were put on a show, and I said, man, I got to get my stuff up, I can honestly say this. I didn't dominate Harvey when it comes to basketball. Basketball, it was so fruitful.
Yeah.
I mean, any day you can get it. Any day,
Just competition.
Super competition. But Cooper Park, man, is a pillar in our community, man. And and I got a name out at Cooper Park. Like if you don't go to Cooper Park and put in some work, you can't go nowhere else and think and self-proclaim yourself. Like when I was at Cooper Park, man, I actually got a name in my city at Cooper Park, and it started there at Cooper Park.
Yeah. And the thing about that too is like, we played on the blacktop too. I mean, it was a privilege to be able to go inside to even play with them beams. But just the outside and just the meaning of that. But can you talk about, because the audience that this show is student athletes and parents as well as coaches. You just said something, and I don't want it to let pass by people. The first time that you played Darion, he got in you and got in you pretty good. And so you walked home, and on that long walk, you had to like self-reflect about what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because it was probably like a blur. But
I had dreams about this guy, man. Like literally, like the moves that he was doing on me and everything. I honestly, I can say that I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready, man. This dude. Go ahead.
So now to your point, which is even better, you made that comment. You wasn't ready. So what you did the second time is you said you went and watched.
I went and watched.
About the importance of, so basically what you was doing, you was basically scouting. So can you talk about the importance of athletes being able to not always rush into play, but being able to sit back and study the game? So can you talk about that?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something, bro. That first time that I went back to go watch him play, this is a true story. I'm not making this up. When I went back to go watch him play, I was not only watching how he played, I was actually learning stuff from him as he was playing. And that went with me forever. Like I remember when I was in college, I used to study film. I used to, I see a lot of these young cats and they have this certain arrogancy about themselves. Like, man, I'm all good. I'm gonna guard him, and I'm like, man, like study this cat, man. And I really studied this dude, man. And then not only did I went back to go watch him play, I got next to him. I got next to this dude, man, to the day he passed, rest in peace. But I got next to this dude, and he became one of my great friends, man. And as a child growing all the way up until just a couple of years ago, he passed away. But I got next to this dude, and every time I used to see him up at Cooper Park when I got grown and after my career was over with. And we would always talk about that first time. And that first time. And I told him, I said, bro, because he would come back to me and be like, man, Jobba, you got better and better and better. And I was like, man, you probably the reason would fuel that energy and that fire within me to become a good player. But I had to I told him I had to study you, man. It was, you just can't go out here and play against this cat and think it's all good.
Absolutely. And so now, so you were the student of the game early on. And then, you just gave a gold nugget. Like you got close to him, but I'm pretty sure now by being close to him, you was able to ask some questions to be able to get clarity. So because we both work with youth, and can you talk about the importance of the youth, the student athletes, the parents, and even coaches to ask questions? Because like the person that don't ask questions is probably the person that think they know everything.
They know everything.
So can you talk about the importance of asking questions?
Yeah, and that's very important, man. That when I got next to Darion, not only I got next to Darion, I got next to brothers like Lamont Robinson. He was all-state at Thornton. I got next to Lloyd Bass. That was a legend from Thornton. I got next to Rod Higgins. That was a legend at Thornton. Went on to be the GM for Michael Jordan at the Wizards. And I'm always asking questions to this day. Like I just had a conversation with Jabari Parker, and he's super younger than me, and me and him sat down and we talking like Bobby Simmons. I'm talking with these guys, asking them questions about, because everybody role and the way they do things is totally different. And
absolutely.
But I never forget, like when I sat down and talked with Darion, that he taught me things that never left me to this day. Even when I was in school, I never sat in the back of the class. I wasn't no smart guy, 3.9 GPA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was an average student, but I did sit right in front of the class, and I always ask questions. I know it probably got on some people's nerves, but at the end of the day, I wanted to get a better understanding for myself. You
dropping nuggets early on, and I expect nothing less. But when I was coaching, be it at I got my Truman shirt on today. When I was at Truman or Malcolm X or even Hyde Park, I would always tell my players, you better sit in the first two rows. And the reason why, because I understood when I was in college, even when I at the Division III Aurora, or especially when I went to UIC as a walk-on, but played with Jimmy, and understanding like them dudes came and peaked in your class. Like coaches don't have time for you to be a student. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to play, student athlete, but you just said that you sat in the front of the class so that you can get like more clarity. Can you talk about like how that helped your self-confidence? Because people, man, Jobba, man, come back here. Why are you sitting in the front of the class? But can you talk about how sitting in front of the class, even at a young age, helped you become your own man, because you weren't worried about what the next person was saying?
Exactly. Like, and this may sound crazy, but the smallest things, like sitting in front of the class, man, gave me like super confidence not to be shy. I can get in front of my English class, man, and talk. I know a lot of kids to this day can't get in front of their own peers at a classroom and even talk about something that they experienced. And I did that. You know what I'm saying? I did that. It gave me the confidence. And I wouldn't say arrogant, but it just gave me a confidence where like I didn't care what anybody thought or whatever. And and it is what it is. And and I don't know. I had one of my friends tell me like, man, Jobba, man, you got that it. And I was like, what? He said, you just ain't, you sociable. And I guess that's what probably did it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind sharing life skills and social skills with the youth or with adults or with some of my frat brothers or peers. It doesn't matter,
And I mean, you made a good point, because oftentimes the youth of today, and this, we tell athletes all the time, and you always teaching and helping, but like, if
Sherrod.
Got Shorty on, he be checking in.
That's my man,
I'm about to get him on too. But like now, like they can sit in front of the class or sit in front of their buddies and be clowns. You know what I'm saying? But when it's time to sit in front or to talk and to add some value, we always talk about value on this show. Like, what value can you add other than being a clown? Because that ain't, that's not value. Not, before we transition out of Harvey, and it wouldn't be right if I didn't ask you, like, how did the Harvey parade like just helped you with being proud of where you was from? Like, because I don't think that it was another parade like the Harvey parade.
Hey, look, the city guys, I know they love their Bud Billiken parade and all that. Wasn't nothing like the 4th of July parade going down 154th Street. Look, bro, I'm gonna tell you this crazy story. Like, me and my brothers, bro, we used to get up super early. And for some odd reason, every time it's a parade on 154th, it was hot as fish grease, right? We out there, man, and we just cooking. But then, get some candy, some Tootsie Rolls, and some chews. We was all good. But I never forget one time, man, as we got a little older, man, I remember the drink Cisco. I that drink Cisco. And so the night before the parade, we over our friend's house, 3 doors down. And we sneaking, drinking some Cisco. We wake up the next day, we missed the whole parade. Me and Jeff was sick.
Slept through it, huh?
Hey, man, we walked down the street, it wasn't nothing but paper on the
ground. Man, missed the whole party. Yeah, man. And I don't even think they still have it now. But if you don't understand, like, or never experienced the Harvey parade, you miss the whole thing, and just the childhood, man, going to Ingles, picking cranberries off the tree,
cranberries, bro. We had cranberry trees in Harvey, bro.
The whole deal, man. It was really like a luxurious suburb, but also, to your point now, as we get into high school, but you said that your mom wanted you and your 2 brothers to be able to have a even keel, education, not only the public school, but the private school. And she did what she needed to do to work in the cafeteria to kind of offset that. Like, what did that do to your mindset about like just hard work?
Yeah, it wasn't that me and my brothers was bad students in the public school setting.
Yep.
It was the fact that, my mother felt like we were just smart. She was
Yep.
like, just because we in the hood and everything like this, y'all smart. And so
Yep.
she wanted to test us, in the Catholic school level. She just wanted to see where we was at as far as our academia. And we went in there, man. It was tough. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not Catholic. And
Yeah.
so going to service on Thursdays and communion and stuff like that. It was a culture shock, but I guess it opened my mind up, what I'm saying, to another side of religion that I never knew about. And, going to a private school and getting an education from a private school, it kind of helped me. It strengthened my academia moving forward as a kid,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then,
Mm-hmm.
so, leave from 8th grade and now you go over on 175th and you go to Hillcrest. Why did you choose Hillcrest?
Well, it wasn't that we chose Hillcrest, and man, and this is something that's deep, man. That you said that how did you choose Hillcrest, and I didn't choose it. We moved to Markham,
Okay.
so we was living in Markham. So Markham is split up into two halves.
Yeah.
One half go to Tinley Park,
Yeah.
and the other half go to Hillcrest.
Yeah.
So we would just happen to be on that borderline half, where we had to go to Hillcrest.
Okay.
And I notice nowadays how parents would take their kid out of a school and put him in another school all because of sports.
Yeah.
My mother didn't care about sports. My mother was like, hey, you're going to go to this school. If you play basketball, you play basketball.
Right.
If you don't. And I'm not coming to no games. And
Yeah.
only thing I'm coming to is your graduation.
Absolutely.
And so my mother just, she stressed academics more than anything. She always used to tell us that basketball is something that you want to do.
Oh, I love it.
That's something that you want to do. But what I want you to do, is get your diploma, and that was her whole thing. And she said basketball was just an added bonus, for us. And then she also mentioned that, hey, you got to use what you got to get what you want. We didn't have no money to pay for no college. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if it wasn't for my talent, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't have, I don't know where would I be, you know what I'm saying? It just so happened that I used my talent to get a full scholarship.
Right.
And it didn't have to pay for school for 4 years, But.
Right. And that's, the main goal. And, I mean, you said that your mom, once she put y'all in a, better school, so it was a culture shock, but you couldn't go home and say like, hey mama, like I ain't with this, service on Thursday and communion. She knew, look, you better get your education. You and your brother better get your education. Now, basketball is what you want to do, but if you use it the right way, that old saying, use basketball, don't let it use you. So you used it to the point to where it could eventually get you a scholarship, but now you was at Hillcrest and then kind of halfway down the line, then you switch and you come back home. Tell me about the move back home and now you a Thornton Wildcat.
Well, it was, first of all, man, it was super tough when I was at Hillcrest because it was so much talent at Hillcrest.
Yeah.
And here I come in as a freshman, and back then, only thing I can do was jump. As a freshman, I had bounce, and I made the team my freshman year, and then sophomore year, I made the team, but then grades came out, and I was like a couple of points short for my mother's standard, not the school standard. I was eligible for the school. It was her standards, and she took me off the team. So I was still practicing with the team, but I couldn't play. So, man, the thing that would fuel me was sitting on the bench, doing those games, jam packed. We playing against Rich Central, Kendall Gill, and those guys, and here I am sitting on the bench, and I got my peers sitting in the bleachers behind me talking about Jobba, how come you ain't playing? And when I have to tell them, man, my grades ain't good enough because my mama took me off the team, And as embarrassing as that may sound, but it was strength for me too.
Character building.
It was strength for me. And I thank my mother to this day, like I didn't miss a beat, after that happened, And then, but coming back to Hillcrest, You know, we end up moving back to actually to South Holland, right behind Harvey on the borderline, like
Okay.
on Perry. We was right there on Perry, right down the street from McDonald's on 147.
Yeah.
So we right on the borderline to go to the Ridge or Thornton.
Yeah.
So we go to Thornton.
Yeah.
And first of all, man, I never caught the bus. My mother was like, y'all walk it through. That lady was something else.
Yeah.
Man. But you know, we used to walk to school, and so when I got there, I was in my senior year. Okay. So Jeffrey decided to play, and I decided to concentrate on my grades, and so I can get on up out of there, and just go and start my career. So I didn't really have, like, I look at like the Sean Dockerys, I look at Black Bevs and Sharon Collins and Bobby Simmons, all my friends, man, all my younger friends, man, and I look at all of them, and they had stellar high school accolades and a stellar high school career, and I didn't. Yeah, you know, a lot of people like, man, Jobba, you know, and I didn't, and and that, you know, going to Thornton, watching Tracy Webster and them play, and my brother and all them play, and it was just a fire inside of me. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna work out. Yeah, I'm gonna work out, and that's it. I'll start my career back over when I hit college.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, I don't want people to miss it. You know, the strength and the character that from what your mother did sophomore year, you know, and when Malcolm Griffin played for me, you know, that next year he played for me his freshman year, sophomore. His sophomore year he played varsity, and his mom did the same thing. It was an article in the Sun Times. Like, she like, he not playing because of his grades, but I think by your mom doing that, as you said, it builds strength, but it also builds character, because now, you know, to tell your guys, my mama took me off the team, you know, and this is still kind of in the time where when we grew up, street lights on, time to go home. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do what mama say. But,
and I was kind of popular a little bit, right?
Yeah. So, you know, it's like, man, you know, Jobba, okay, not playing, but now when y'all transfer, you know, you could have played, you know, alongside of his T-Web or whoever, but just the idea of you making that choice and saying, I'm gonna focus on academics, and then I'm gonna continue to work out. So you never stopped working on your craft. Never. You just did what you knew you needed to do to be able to show your craft. Does that make sense? Because without the grades, it didn't matter. So now, you know, with, you know, especially with this audience, you know, people feel like, you know, I just got off the phone with somebody and, you know, they like, hey, I went, you know, I didn't play in front of coaches, or I played at the wrong school. But here it is, you didn't play, you know, you really played 1 year out of 4 in high school. And so, like, how was your recruitment? Like, how did you then get to college that first year and play basketball? Like, walk us through that transition.
Yeah, so man, it's a crazy story, man. So I end up at the getting my diploma from Thornton. I didn't know where I was going.
Yeah.
And so now, but I had a lot of friends that was going to HBCUs, right? Yeah. So they was like, so I got shot. In 89. I got shot in 1989. 89, 90. I got shot. And it was just, I was going through a hard time, man, trying to straddle both sides of the fence.
Yep.
You know, I never forget. I went to the Big Dipper and got into it with some guys, and then ended up going to Big Boys in Chicago Heights. Yeah. And then got into a big old fight, man, in a restaurant, and I ended up getting shot. And
Jobba, I'm gonna pause you for a minute, and then I'm gonna let you finish that story. Talk about playing on both sides of the fence, because you can't do both.
Right. And I learned a valuable lesson, man. Like, you can't be a basketball player and try to be out here game banging and doing other stuff. It's just like oil and water. It just don't mix. It's not gonna mix. It's never gonna be right. Right. You gotta do, either you're gonna game bang or either you're gonna play ball. Yeah. And I learned the valuable lesson that night, man, in 1989. And I got shot. And the thing that really changed me, man, was when I got out the hospital at St. James in Chicago Heights. when I walked in the house and I saw my mother's face, and my mother was sitting on the floor in the kitchen crying. And I promised her, I said, Mama, I'm so sorry. I'm going to school. So I wrote a letter. This is some perseverance stuff, man. I wrote a letter to University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, to the administration office.
Wow.
And sent them my transcripts. And they accepted me to come to the school. And they paid for my school, and I filled out the financial aid, and the financial aid paid for the rest. I didn't have to pay to go to that school.
Wow.
But they put me on probation.
Probation.
Came in.
Yeah.
And so now here I am, a freshman at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah.
And they already had their team. I just wanted to go to school. So I had a real deep down talk with myself, like, okay, what I'm going to do? Like, all right, now I'm in school. Yeah. They already got their basketball team. So what do I do from this point? So I'm like, okay. So I still hooped on the campus. I still, we'd go to the gym, and I was playing against the guys, and, all the guys on the basketball team was like, man, you should be on the squad. You should be on the squad. And so I never forget, man, my auntie passed away, and I came back home. I was playing at Olive Harvey, true story, and Gar Foreman, the GM for the Bulls, that just got fired. Gar, my man, he my man forever. Yeah. But Gar Foreman was in the gym recruiting another guy. Wow. And I'm in the summer league tournament at Olive Harvey. I'm in there killing. I must have had 36. Gar Foreman stopped recruiting that kid, came to me, gave me his information, flew back to Chicago, flew back here, and came and talked with my mom. Wow. And he said, look, I already know your son's situation. He went to University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. I know his clock is ticking, but I got a friend. We could put him in junior college. We want to sign him. Go to junior college. And it was the sky the limit. I went to junior college after that, played 2 years of JUCO, signed with New Mexico State, ended up transferring. And then I couldn't go back D1, so I ended up going to Oklahoma City University, which was the best move I probably ever could have did as far as playing basketball collegiate-wise. Yeah. My daughter was born. Yeah. Played. I started my last 2 years. Only lost 10 games my last 2 years. Damn. And won a national championship in '94. And man, the sky was the limit, Right. Now, and you again, you dropping jewels, and for anybody that know Jobba, y'all know that he gonna talk fast, but you got to catch it. But you said, man, that when you walked in the house, you saw your mama on the floor crying. Like, talk about that feeling, like personally, man, that feeling. I promise you, man. Like, I don't like to intentionally hurt nobody's feelings. Yeah. Any human, my girl, nobody. And man, almost choked me up a little bit, man. But to see my mother sitting on the floor crying, because I know how my mother feel about me and my brothers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And man, and I just went, and I was standing up, and I walked into the kitchen, and I said, Mom, I'm okay. I said, Mom, I'm okay, and I just hugged her. And my mother was crying. My mother never had no problem with expressing herself, with us, how she felt and everything. And my mother was my best teacher. My mother and my dad, they was my best teachers. And I made a vow to my mother that I was going to school and I was going to make something of myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was going to make something of myself no matter what. And I told her I was going to do it. I didn't want to depend on nobody else to do it. I was going to do it to show her, you know what I'm saying, that I was strong enough to get this done. So at that point, it was definitely bigger than you. Most definitely, bro. This wasn't me, because man, had I came home that day and my mother would have just been like on some other stuff, ain't no telling. But to see my mother on that floor in that kitchen, I would never forget that, bro. And I'm talking about, and she was, and we should do stuff behind closed doors that my mother didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? That's all part of growing up in Harvey. And and she always had this conception about us that we was like good guys and everything. And we were. Don't get me wrong, but we dibbed and dabbed because we were teenagers. We teenagers, we kids, and getting shot in as a 19-year-old kid, and growing up, back then
yeah,
was that's kind of tough, you know.
huge, yeah, huge.
It's huge. And
So, you know, you also said something that I think is very poignant, you know, and I actually learned it from Buzz Williams. He always talks about the importance of handwritten letters. Like we're in the age now, text messaging, you know, computers. You hand wrote a letter to this school and sent your transcript. So you basically put in the work by yourself, mailed it, right? Right. Snail mail. Like, you know, I don't want people to miss the importance of, you know, the athletes that's watching, you know, even the coaches that's watching, you know, the parents, you know, for, you know, athletes say, okay, you know, I'm not getting looks, so I don't know. Like you took it upon yourself to create an opportunity, but you really wasn't looking. You was looking for an opportunity to be a student. Right. And then the basketball came after that, but I don't want people to miss the importance of handwriting letters, because that mean that it, you know, the way it was taught to me, if you handwrite something, that mean it really means something to you.
Yeah, and it's genuine.
Yeah, genuine. Yeah. That's you know the perfect word for it. And so now, go ahead, Jobba.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I think, you know, and it ain't no blame for some of these kids about technology. You know, technology has crippled us. You know, I remember growing up where I knew all my friends' phone numbers on the top of my head, you know, and I had to adapt to society and the way technology has come along. And I'm not tripping on it, but we have got a little dumbed down from because of technology. And I think, you know, we express ourselves nowadays with emojis and, you know, hearts and stuff like that, and send a text instead of being a little more organic with each other, you know, as far as, you know, communicating either face to face or make a phone call. You know, people quick to send a text or an email or like, I mean, you know, if you want to get some of these young cats that's watching, you want to get hooked up on game, write your girl a love letter, write her a letter and see how she responds.
Yeah, teach it.
Write her a letter and see how she responds.
Teach it. You know, it was, you know, the same way when I was at Rick South, and at this point, other than John L. Sloan, like the freshman wasn't playing.
My man.
You know, freshman wasn't playing on the sophomore level. And so like, you know, but I can recall writing a sophomore coach a handwritten letter, putting it in his mailbox like every other day, to the point to where, you know, I wrote him about 5 letters to where he met me in my locker one day and was like, and this is the same dude, Coach Bolognani, used to come pick us up, bring us to basketball camp and everything. But he had to come to my locker and was like, don't write me no more letters, man. He said, like, you know, I've been knowing you for 5, 6, 7 years. Come and talk to me. But he appreciated the fact that I was writing him those letters. But now the other point that I don't want people to, you know, miss, you was playing in a tournament and there was a scout there looking at somebody else. And, you know, again, you know, athletes don't understand, you know, just because a scout is there looking at somebody, 2 things that happened with Gar Foreman. He stopped recruiting the guy that he was recruiting at, but he also said that he had a friend. So even though I was in the gym and, you know, like, you know, I posted on the ad for this, you know, for our episode, you know, it's so many different, you know, captions of you talking to athletes or just people in the stands teaching them things, right? So, but if you can't use them, it's somebody else that can. And as you said, if you are genuine and if you are displaying who you are basketball wise and outside of basketball, so you create an opportunity for yourself. This man can, and I don't know who he was coming to see, right? But you and really you wasn't competing with them because you didn't know. You were just doing the best that you could.
I'm just playing hard.
And the opportunity came about. So like, can you talk about, and I always talk about the difference, and that goes back, you know, to your mom too. But I always talk about the difference of people, you know, being a hard worker and people that say they work hard, right? Like, you know, me and, you know, Rob was talking about it, you know, but like people that work hard are generally people that only do it when people are watching. People that's hard workers, they gonna be a hard worker if it's clean, you know, doing the dishes, mopping the floor, working out, you know. So can you talk about the importance of just hard work? Because when you laced them shoes up and stepped on that court, you knew like I'm gonna give it everything that I got
Yeah,
this
yeah,
time. So can you talk about that?
yeah, man. Like I felt like all the work that I was putting in up until that day,
Yeah,
it pretty much paid off. But I didn't know.
yeah,
I was just working on stuff that I worked on,
yep,
and playing hard,
yep,
and just playing super hard. And I don't know, the basketball guys was in my favor.
yep.
I'm knocking down shots. I'm on a break dunking, taking the ball from us. I'm doing my thing. And man, Gar Foreman walked up to me after it was over with. He asked me who I was, asked me what my name, and then he asked me what was I doing. And one thing I try to tell people, I don't, and these young guys, and I want them to take this with them. If somebody, a scout, asks you, man, who recruited you or who you looking at, I told him nobody.
Yeah.
He said, man, what's your plans? I said, I don't have none. I said, man, I'm open,
Open. Yeah.
I'm pretty much open. And
Yeah.
gave me this information, and then it went on from there. That's crazy, man, that you mentioned Buzz Williams. Buzz was my equipment manager at Oklahoma City University.
Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then he got the coaching job with New Orleans.
New Orleans.
And then he got over to Marquette.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man. Me and Buzz go way back, man.
Yep.
Buzz actually is a part of my team that won the national championship. He got a ring with me too.
Okay. Yep.
But
yep.
I know Buzz very well, man.
Yep. So now talk about, so you go to junior college, and Rob said who beat you. So I'm figuring.
So I'm gonna tell you that story. So Rob Smith, I'm gonna tell you the real story. This is when I got out of JUCO and I transferred from New Mexico State. So now I'm at Oklahoma City University.
Yeah.
We in conference play.
Yeah.
And so we in the locker room, and the coach is drawing a name, put the starting lineup on the board, put our lineup who we gonna guard. So we got the breaking down the players.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, coach. I'll never interfere to coach. But I said, right. Coach, for a second. I said, Robert Smith. He was like, yeah. I said, he from Chicago? He said, yeah. I said, Cyrus McGinnis. I said, he from Chicago? Coach was like, yeah. I said, man, I know both of them. Right? First game, they beat us. I go in the locker room. I'm sick. They got off.
Yeah.
After that game, no joke, I ain't making up. We ain't lose another game. We won national championship. We end up playing them again and blew them out. And then we end up hurting Cyrus. I don't know, he got bridge or something. But yeah, man, played against Rob, man. And he was a steady point guard. Like I tell people, they asked me, can Rob play? I said, that little pigeon-toe dude was real. He was real steady. He was steady.
Yeah.
He could run a team.
Yeah.
And so what he's doing now as far as coaching these young guys and winning championships, it's not I knew that was gonna come. That's a part of his DNA.
Yeah. No, man, absolutely. And when Rob was on the other day, man, we went about 3.5 hours just dropping. Rob was dropping jewels. Like he, dropped dimes, man. But can you explain the feeling? Because everybody wants to win their last game, but everybody wants to win a national championship. But everybody want to go Division I, right? One shining moment. But as you said, can't nobody take that feeling away from you. So can you talk about the feeling of winning the national championship?
Oh, bro. Man, my father was there. It was on ESPN. It's NAIA Division I. Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is a powerhouse right now. If you know your basketball, Oklahoma City in the NAIA level is a powerhouse. We got so many championships out of that joint. But it was unbelievable, bro. I thought I was dreaming. It was like when I crossed the burning sands, bro. It was like I didn't believe it. And then when I got the ring, it's an unbelievable feeling on any level, winning the national championship when you're the last man standing.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable, man. I remember I had a talk with Antoine Walker, and we was talking about, he was like, man, Jobba, how many people in Chicago that won college national championships? I was like, well, me and you, I think
right. I don't know about nobody else, but me and you.
I know me and you got one.
Yeah.
And, so that's our good thing that we got going with each other. I say, man, we both champs, you know what I'm saying? So, but man, it's just it's a humbling experience.
Yeah.
Bond that you're gonna build with some brothers, man, for the rest of your life. You can build. I got my pictures and everything of that situation. And I'm still in contact with those guys, you know, that we won some championship together. And it's something that will never fade. It will never fade.
Now, you know, I want to ask you something because you actually posted something the other day. You know, some old footage, you know, and you pay homage to you know, Kendall, you know, like when we came up, when, you know, Rich Central beat Rich South, and I saw, you know, my big bro Dorian Fines on.
Yes, sir.
I was at the game, man. Rich Central beat Rich South 120-49. And it was at Rich South. And that was the first time that I saw, because, you know, Kiss the Rim, Jordan did it right hand. Kendall did it left hand. And it was the first time that I saw it personally. It might have been the first time that he did it. And after that, it was like, if you can dunk, you want to try that dunk. Like, you know, so, you know, the video that you posted the other day, you know, and, you know, you was like, hey, I was paying homage, you know, to my big bro Kendall. But like, can you talk about that, you know, knowing you coming down on a break and like, man, I'm about to stuff this, but it's only really one way that I'm going to stuff it. Like, you know, can you just talk about that?
Yeah, man, to be honest, man, Kendall Gill and Michael Jordan was the first people that I saw do that kiss the rim dunk.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had some bounce back in days. I had probably like a 42. And I remember when I was, and that dunk became one of my favorite fast break dunks.
Yeah.
You know? And so I actually, when I was on the break, I did it with the left hand, you know, and I'm right-handed. So I did it with the left hand, leaned in with the left. And so I had to give Kendall Gill a shout out, because I remember Kendall when he was at Rich Central and at U of I in the NBA, you know, that was his dunk, you know, the lean in dunk. Kendall wanted to be like Mike too, all of us.
Absolutely. Literally, like, you know, the Gatorade commercial, I mean, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I dream, you know, and so now, after you win a national championship, you know, that's one dream that every kid wants. But then you get an opportunity to go. Yes, sir. Yep. Go ahead and get them. You get the opportunity to go and play professional basketball.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, man, just one, what it takes to be able to play on a pro level? And then two, you know, that process of being able to do that.
Yeah, man, look, the process.
Jobba, hold on 1 second, because it's live. Hold on, hold on. Okay, I'm back live, buddy, man. You know, I got to take care of my son.
No, man, that's we quarantining right now.
Absolutely.
I get it. Everybody in the house.
Yeah.
But the process, man, was it's a beast, man. It's a beast. And you have to have a level of perseverance and a level of focusness. You know, I didn't let nothing really get in my way, because that was my dream to end up, you know, playing professional on any type of level.
Any level,
You know, I just wanted to make some money and play, and because I know it's a million people ain't playing. And,
absolutely.
You know, coming from where I'm coming from, you know, you get shot and the opportunity to play professional basketball. You know, you can that follow you. That's gonna be on your name tag forever. You know? And I had the opportunity to do it, man. But the process wasn't easy. I ain't gonna sit here and say that, because especially nowadays, you know, it's harder. You know, I talk to these kids, man. I tell them it's a million, probably 20 million people worldwide trying to get to the NBA. It's only 400 and some uniforms in the NBA.
That's it.
So you might be better off winning the lottery probably 3 times. Because the NBA only taking less than 1% every year. You know?
And now, can you talk about, because, like, you know, Joe Chapman, you know, used to,
that's
you know,
young fella.
You know, Joe used to take me, you know, to overseas school, man, and just talk about, you know, the dark side of overseas. You know what I'm saying? And like, can you explain some of that for them? You know, for some of these guys, man. I'm gonna go overseas. You know, because that's a sexy thing now, right? I'm gonna go overseas, but can you talk about some of them dark stories that people don't understand.
Most definitely. Like, you have to understand, like, in some of these countries, they ain't never saw blacks.
Yep.
You know, some of these countries, they don't really like blacks.
Yep.
You know, and some, you have to be fearful for your life. You never know, because they can, and then you can get accused of anything. I remember I was playing, man. I got accused. It was this lady we should take our laundry to. I was playing in Mexico. We was in San Luis Potosí. So that was where our general manager office used to be. So we used to take our laundry to this one place all the time.
Yep.
This lady ended up calling the police saying we stole from her.
Damn.
Now, we got money.
Yep.
The police came and took us all to jail, bro. And then I think it was like $2,000, in American money for us to get out. And they would just blame anything on you, and you just stuck, or you just gonna be abroad in jail somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, not only that, the food, your palate, a lot of our palates that's used to food with a lot of spices and salt and peppers and garlic and whatever, a lot of these spices is banned in other countries.
Right.
So like the food ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna lose weight. I don't know nobody go overseas and gain weight. You're gonna lose weight because you're not eating this food. You're not eating burgers and all this stuff, So that was another thing. And then some of the conditions. Some of the conditions that we was playing under was bogus, and then on top of that, you're not getting paid. Like I promise you, when I played in Mexico, I'm still owed like 2 checks. That was 20 years ago. They still owe me some money, you know what I'm saying? But what you gonna do? What can you do? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, getting paid on time was a big thing, but it's I mean, you got to go over there and get it in and just come on back. Go over there.
So now, how did that teach you? Because I know that you're a successful business person now, but how did that teach you the business side of basketball in terms of like you are your own brand?
Most definitely, man. And I'm glad you mentioned that, man. Like, I am my own brand. Like, playing ball and going through all that stuff, abroad, taught me a lot about the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing I know for a fact, that no matter what you think it is, it's fair. It's fair all the way around the board. So either you're going to accept it or you're going to change it. And the thing is, how you going to change it? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Either you're going to accept it or you're going to change it. And if you can't change it, if you want to change it, then the next thing is how you're going to change it. But it taught me a lot about the business. You know what I'm saying? It taught me about how to save and manage my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, most definitely that, save and managing your money. Because
you still owe 2 checks.
I'm still owed somebody. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of swept it under the carpet. But but other than that, man, it taught me a lot, man. It taught me how to be strong mentally, man, because everything ain't gonna be handed to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing handed to you, and ain't nothing guaranteed, no matter what those contracts say. And I want to tell guys, man, read your own contracts. I don't care how long it takes. Read your own contracts. Get an understanding of your own contract. Just don't spend your life away because you feel like you're going to play ball somewhere and you happy, but you don't understand what you just signed. You know what I'm saying? Start being your own agent in a sense. Even if you got an agent, be your own agent. Audit him so you'll know he just can't tell you anything. Yeah.
I love that. Audit your agent, because and I try to get college athletes to understand that, from a college level, because when that scholarship get taken away, or like, when you get sent home, be it from overseas, or if you get cut in the league, or if they take your scholarship away, the team's still playing. You just got to go. you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have to be able to better represent ourselves as our own brand, because we marketing us. You know what I'm saying? We're part of a, like, we're the subsidiary, or the team is basically a subsidiary of our brand, because the same way, like, what Rob had mentioned about, Coach Hambrick, like, they were the representation of him, like, on the basketball court as players, but so also the same way that you're a representation of that team is a representation of you also. And so, if they stealing money or not paying you a bogus contract, you got to think, like, who am I dealing with? Everybody now like, oh man, Scotty got railroaded. Well, Mike wasn't making a whole lot of money either. You know what I'm
Sure
saying?
wasn't.
And when people see it and like, you know, like, man, well, they talking to this man like that. Well, at some point they understood who they was dealing with. Does that make sense?
Right.
You know,
Most
so
definitely.
you know, now, you know, it's like, okay, I now know my worth and I now know my value, and I'm not gonna let nobody tell me less than that. So, you know, again, you know, and as you know, Anthony Beckham said, like, you know, you always been in their ear teaching them, you know, along the right way. But can you talk to the importance of adding value? Like, you know, if it's on a basketball court in school, just in people's lives,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
can you talk about the importance of adding value to other people?
Yeah, man. It's just about building relationships
Yep.
and being organic with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, you know, it's man, like what you doing, man, is adding value to the community. It's adding value to everybody, man. And like, I just want to be that person that anybody can come to, and the relationships that I built along the way.
Yep.
You know, so I may not know everything or have whatever somebody need, but I know somebody that got or have what somebody need, man. And then, you know, and that's just, you know, helping and along the way, man. And that's the thing. And I try to add value, man, through just educating brothers about self.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, know who you are first, man. Know how powerful you are as a person, as a human being, as a black person growing up, man. Like, if I didn't know who I was, man, anybody can tell me anything, but you just can't tell me anything because I know who I am.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it came, it was hard, it was hard work to get where I'm at, you know what I'm saying, as far as discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my butt whooped many a times, you know, get put on punishment. And everything that I've been through, that my mom put me through as growing up, man, I'm happy for it.
Right.
It molded me into the person that I am today. And you know, and I'm thankful for my two brothers, man, because my two brothers taught me how to be how we shared everything. You know what I'm saying? We was open with each other. It taught, man, having two brothers, man, taught me brotherhood. You know, my younger brothers taught me a lot. You know, so, and we that way with all our friends. Like, we the same way we are with each other. We hug each other, we kiss each other, man, on the jaw. We like that with our homies, man. And people be like, man, you ain't kiss me on my face. Like, boy, you my boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And now let's stay there for a minute, Jobba, because you know, you said that your mom, you know, kind of, you know, didn't mind showing the emotion, but as men, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, let's, you know, kind of take it away from athletics for a minute, but just from a human being side. Can you talk about how it's okay to show emotion or to show your appreciation, you know, and I always hear you, you know, talking to people, you know, and be like, you know, man, I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, certainly shy away from that. But I think that goes back to knowing self. But can you talk about the importance of being able to express that, you know, true emotion? Because we often don't say that until somebody is no longer with us. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a fact, man. And I feel like, man, if we start to express ourselves, like, we in so much competition with each other. Well, that's the number one where we need to. I mean, it's no problem being competitive, you know, on a playing field,
right?
You know, whether it be football, basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever. I mean, that's just the nature, being competitive. But we don't have to be competitive when it comes to loving each other. Like, man, I think we need to start being a little more genuine with each other, because at the end of the day, that basketball, that baseball, that football, whatever it is, gonna stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna stop, and then it's gonna become a recreational sport, and then after that, it may not become a sport at all no more. Just become something that you can watch. But what have you done along the way? Have you built any relationships through that sport? The game of basketball. I tell people this, bro. People be like, man, Jobba, man, how you know so many people, man? I was here, and I met somebody that know you, man, and your name came up here. How you be knowing somebody? I say, man, basketball is the reason where I probably know 90% of people that I know right now.
Yeah.
Seriously, the game of basketball has opened up relationships that I never, ever thought or imagined I would have had.
Yeah.
Basketball is where I'm sitting right here is because of basketball.
Absolutely.
And, and I didn't build so many relationships, man. I remember when I tore my knee up last year playing basketball. When I got out the hospital, I called Sonny Parker.
Yeah.
And Sonny told me to meet him because I told Sonny I want to talk to Jabari about the knee injuries.
Yeah.
Now, here I am, almost a 50-year-old man, calling Sonny to talk to so I can talk to Jabari about what do I need to do to get back right.
Right.
Because I know Jabari been through like 3 major knee surgeries.
Yeah.
So to sit down and talk with Jabari and to open and for him to open up about what he went through and me open up about what I went through was just pure, straight, genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, we need to, I understand being competitive on the court, but I see some of these cats, they competitive on the court to the point where they don't like this other guy. Y'all are 2 great basketball players. Y'all should be super cool with each other because, and I think we didn't let this competitive nature get between friendships.
And so I had on the show yesterday, all the seniors from the first year when I was at South Suburban College, and they spoke to, and they said something that made complete sense, was that we respected the other person's game, even though we were rivals in high school. Our point guard and our shooting guard, point guard said, man, we respected each other's game.
Right.
So off the court, you just had to honor that, and so we hung out. He was saying like people were amazed that they was close, in the same way, like coaches say, Rob was talking about how people think, if him and, Slaughter or him and Nick don't get, it's one thing to be competitive on the field or on the court, but if you have respect for what another person does,
man, we go a long way with that, man.
You go a long way, but it's hard. But it's hard to have respect for what other people do if you ain't had to get it the hard way. Does that make sense? I mean, if it was given to you, you don't respect what other people do because you don't understand that process. So, like, can you talk about just with your wide range of basketball relationships? But I'm pretty sure all that is built on respect for what the other person bring. And going back, to what you said earlier about Darion, you had to respect his game to go back and study him. So do you think that the respect part of basketball has been lost? And then like talk about, like how can we fix that?
Yeah, I truly believe the respect is gone. The respect is lost. Like I come from I can't even say old school. I feel like I can adjust in any of these eras. But the thing is like if you bust my butt on the court, cool. We going out to eat, we going to party or whatever. And I don't see that nowadays. But I think the way we can probably get things back on the right track, like these times right now is important.
Yeah.
Think about it. Now is the time. These are the times when we really need each other. You know what I'm saying? If it's not any other time that you feel like we don't need each other, now is the time. And I think now these times that we're going through now, it's a lot of time for us to self-reflect. You know what I'm saying? And it's never too late to change the mindset of what you used to be. It's never too late to change the mindset. You can come out of this and be the same person, but you can change the mindset. And I just feel like it ain't too late to change. And I just feel like communication, man. I don't know why, but when you talk about relationships, whether it be male or female, your peers, your teachers, whoever, open dialogue and communication is important. And I think that's the way we can really get things back rolling. And just being really truthful to yourself and to others.
Yeah. And to your point, what you said earlier, that's kind of where we're allowing technology to use us.
Thank you. Instead of we using it.
Right. We not having those effective and genuine conversations. And really, man, I always say like the violence issue can kind of be solved. I ain't gonna say easy, but it can pretty much simple using these concepts that we talked about, and again, things that we just learned through sport. Being able to effectively communicate, being
Yeah.
open, being honest, telling people how
exactly.
you feel.
Hey, look, let me tell you, man. Right now, what I do for a living. Okay, I work for the Archdiocese of Chicago.
Yeah.
I work under Father Michael Flager at Saint Sabina.
Yeah.
And we got a program called Strong Futures, where we help individuals between the ages of 18 and 24. Now, people be like, man, why is 18 to 24? Because we work hand in hand with the Chicago crime labs. And we found out through the whole city of Chicago and all the hard hit areas that the ages of 18 and 24 are the hardest hit when it comes to crime, right? And like you said, those are the years that you should really be grooming yourself for the next level, which is like 35, you know what I'm saying, moving up and moving forward. But we found out those age levels is the levels where simple beef, whether it be via social media or whatever, they killing each other and probably never even seen each other, man. So the lack of respect for humans is out there, because think about this. They don't really understand human nature because they're so embarked on technology.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
They don't know, they don't understand that, man, this dude is a human with a family that love him. And when you do something to a negative action towards that person or whatever, you kill this person, whatever, do you understand what you're really doing to so many other people, man? Like, and I try to get to these kids, man, early and let them know, like, man, why would you be selfish? I asked, I'm like, man, you got a shorty out here, your mama love you, but you're gonna put yourself in a situation and it's gonna affect everybody. That's gonna affect the other side too. So then you got 15 people behind that person that you killed that's affected from this one heinous act. So we just try to change the mindset, man.
And I mean, I love that you say that, and it, something just popped in my head, like it gives a whole new meaning, because social media and technology, but it gives a whole new meaning to artificial intelligence. Like we ain't thinking, because we let some other system kind of do the work for us, and now we kind of react, instead of getting on the front of it, man. I love that, and
because we say that like at our group meetings, man, your thoughts become your actions. And if you're not thinking properly, you're not breathing, what I'm saying, you're not thinking, what I'm saying? Like if you're not breathing and meditating, you're not thinking on a positive playing field, man. So it's tough out here, man. It's rough. And we just need to, like I'm gonna go back to what I was saying as far as communication, man. All it is simple communication. And I think now the younger genre, they have this chip on their shoulder about being embarrassed. Like we used to fight, what I'm saying? Like we fought, and I didn't have fights with some guys that to this day we cool as I don't know what. He whooped me. It's all good. But nowadays I think the embarrassment and then people putting it on social media, they glamorizing all this negative stuff, and it's spilling off into our younger kids. And the music, the music ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? Like the music has a dark cloud over it.
Absolutely.
Music and all this stuff ties into basketball. Think about it, man. Like, this music, all this stuff, hip hop, and all this stuff ties into sports. And and
it goes to the point though, like you said about embarrassment, but this generation and and not even still with the athletes going through adversity, what I'm saying, like they don't understand how to deal with adversity, and part of dealing with adversity builds that mental toughness. Like just going back again, Jobba, how come you ain't on the team? Well, hey, my mama took me off the team, but that's building your mental toughness and that intestinal fortitude, to say, hey, I can deal with this adversity and still come out on top. And so, I think that, and people saw it again with the Bulls documentary, everybody said, well, Jordan mama ain't say nothing. That was a different time back then. Nowadays is more so, if the school called your mama She ain't asking no questions. They coming up there and getting you. Now, you know, when I was a dean at Oil, you know, you call a person parent, the first question that they ask is what you do to my baby. Like, so, you know, times have totally changed, man.
Hey, let me tell you, man, to piggyback off that, man, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you the key to it too. This is the key. These parents nowadays has to stop like put a hope to being their kids' best friends.
Best friend, yep.
You know, and you know, some of these parents are super young having kids, so they partying. And think about this: these young girls is having kids. They still partying. Their grandparents still in their 30s.
And they 30s.
Still trying to party.
Yep.
So you got these kids in the crib by themselves, trying to damn near raising themselves.
Yep. So absolutely.
So then you got these parents trying to steal them.
Check your mic, Jobba. Check your mic. You hear
me now?
It's kind of like you far away or something, like you pressing on the mic.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep.
But you know, these parents are still trying to be the kids' best friends.
Yep.
And so now, you know, they don't discipline, so they too cool with their kids.
Yeah.
So then when you tell their kids, so now it's time to really put your foot down and you tell them to take out the garbage, they look at you sideways.
Yeah.
They look at you like you told them to go pick up some boo boo with their bare hands. You know, want to wash the dishes. So I think when the parents have to stop really being best friends with their kids and start being more solid parents with their kids. You know what I'm saying? And stop idolizing your kids. The kids should idolize. Man, I used to idolize my parents.
Right.
The parents shouldn't idolize the kids.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be putting these kids on a pedestal. Man, I remember growing up, bro. We didn't have nothing, but it was normal to us. And I see how these kids, these people in the hood, walking around with Gucci on. Man, I went to the Gucci store at Nordstrom. And I saw how much a Gucci purse and some Gucci stuff cost. I'm talking about $4,000.
Yeah.
And so looking at these kids walking around here, and these parents is putting all this name stuff on these kids, and so they working on the outside and not the inside.
Yeah.
So these kids got on all this sweet stuff.
Yeah.
And all the only thing they can do is look down at themselves and make sure they're sweet.
Yeah.
But can't hold a conversation.
Can't hold a conversation. Hold on, Jay. We're gonna do a mic check again. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of muffled a little bit like
I don't know. Okay, you hear me now?
Yep. There you go.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, and so you know, let's get to this point because it's a great segue. You know, you see so many, and you know, we got our man, you know, Eon, you know, Air Wright, man, which is, you know,
what up,
you know, the really the only assistant that I had, man. But you know, I mean, we don't have as much success without you know, but like, you know, you get so many parents now to where, like you say, even at a young age, now they're idolizing their kid because they think that their kid can play sports. And so now they coming to coaches saying, like, you know, what you gonna do for my kid, or how come my kid ain't playing? And I know that this is something that you really, really wanted to talk about, you know, like just the culture of not only Chicago, but even nationwide. I mean, because you've been nationwide, you know, where you know, we aren't practicing, you know, that habit or those characteristics good. We kind of putting these athletes and, you know, or parents putting their kids on a pedestal, and they ain't really earned nothing, you know. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, man. You know, and that's another thing with the parents inside when you talk about, you know, you idolizing your kids and thinking they all great, and really don't understand this game and understand how society is when it comes to sports and athletics. And you think your kid is all this, and then you're building up these messed up relationship with coaches and AAU coaches, even though, quote unquote, I can't stand AAU, but you know, you build up these negative, and then it's falling back on the kid.
Yeah.
See, because guess what? Then the kid got this negative mark on, man. I don't want to tell that kid because of their parents this and their parents that. So that's one thing that's damaging these youth. Instead of the parents, like my mother was like, boy, you playing basketball because you want to play.
Yeah.
And but, you know, these parents, I think they trying to invest too much because they feeling like my son, whatever's the next LeBron.
Yeah.
You don't know what it takes, man. You don't know it's way bigger than this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So and now for those parents again, I was talking to a kid earlier, and I'm like, what's the main goal? He like, for those that don't know, I help parents of underrecruited student
Right.
athletes, find the right fit for college. And he like the NBA. And I'm like, we don't even need to keep having this conversation, because if the main goal is to get a free education, then we don't need to have this conversation. And now, you got friends, right? I ain't gonna say that people, but you got friends, that have been in the league, legends. Can you talk about, because you talked about being a pro, but now when we talk about the NBA level, and for those that know you and your prime prior to, as you say, father time caught up with you, but you could have, definitely been dominant in the NBA. But watching these guys, Jordan and, Twan and Bobby and Craig, and just, the list goes on and on. Like, talk about that work ethic that like people that don't really know behind the scenes.
Man, I can tell you this true story, and this is just one of them of many. But Bobby Simmons, I never forget. I used to be the program director for Markham Park District, so I had the keys. So I used to go there any time of the night.
Yeah.
So Bobby used to come, and Bobby stayed all the way out and far out.
Yeah.
And he would come all the way to the gym, and I used to work him out.
Yeah.
One day, Bobby came in the gym, and he was crying. He was not like boo-hooing, but just had eyes was red. You say he was sitting in the car, and I was like, "Man, what's going on, bro? You all right?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Man," he said, "Man, you remember Eddie Robertson used to play for the Bulls?"
Yeah.
He said, "Man, Eddie, man, making all this money, man, he's stealing this money, and I'm working hard." I said, "Bobby, number one, you messing up."
Yeah.
He was like, "What?" I said, "Because you're worrying about somebody else instead of worrying about yourself."
There you go.
So I was working him out every night. That next year, Bobby he playing with the Clippers. He averaged 19. Get most improved player, signed a blockbuster deal, $50+ million.
Yeah.
But I saw the work that he put in with my own eyes.
Yeah.
And this was something when he was working when people were sleeping.
Yeah.
He was working out when people was like in the bed, knocked out.
Yeah.
My girl back in the days thought I was cheating on her because I was coming in the crib 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was coming in super late, so I had to have her come one night just so she can see this is what I'm doing. I'm helping this brother out. But the work ethic, man, is like, I think Bobby was outside of his body at the time. Like, so you have to be. I mean, your body going to take abuse.
Yeah.
And it ain't easy, you know what I'm saying? Like, Bobby pushed himself to the 3rd level. Like, most guys only push themselves to the 1st level. Bobby pushed himself to the 3rd level, you know what I'm saying? To the point where, you got to go and one day go get a massage and get some treatment, getting a hot tub and stuff like that, getting an ice tub. But his work ethic, he never stopped though. I mean, he just kept going. And it was tough. It was tough.
Yeah. So now, can you talk about that too? To the student athletes, be it on the high school level, on the college level, but particularly those parents that want to help, their athlete get to that next level, or those, the high school coaches or even the college coaches that's watching that want to help their athletes be better. Can you talk about, man, the importance of taking care of your body, like mind, body, soul, but like, can you talk about, what it takes? You talked about getting, the massages, but go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say what's up, Nick Irvin.
Yeah.
Hey, I had the pleasure of sitting alongside Nick Irvin, man, at Morgan Park. So that's my man. That's their family. Hey, Nick, I'm just letting you know right now, bro, I still need my ring and I need my shirt. You already know what I want. I need my ring, bro. Y'all won a championship and I need my ring. But anywho, man, I do need a massage, babe. It's my girl over here, man. Okay. But yeah, man. Man, look, I learned back in the days, man. When I was in college, it was a guy named Kevin Franklin on my team. He was an All-American. Yeah. Swear to God, this dude here was so cold. So when we used to go on the road and play games, I'll never forget, we was in Alaska. And we was out trying to see the town, we trying to kick it, and I go knock on Kevin Franklin door, and he in the crib, he in his hotel room in the bed, got his data raised next to him, and he watching film.
Yeah.
And he, man, I'm trying to get to that next level. This is when I was in college. And so we sat down and talked. He said, man, Jobba, you don't take care of your body. He said, your body gonna wear down. You only get one set of feet. You only get one set of everything, knees and everything. And so right then and there, I start understanding understanding the value of taking care of your body, like getting proper rest, not smoking, not drinking, working out. Because when you're working out, you're putting a lot of stress on your body.
Absolutely.
Your body need a lot of time to heal and relax. And so, and I see these young guys, man, trying to go to the next level, and they young, so they feel like they can come to the gym, don't stress, hoop, dunk, and go home and still eat cheese Cheetos and right, you know what I'm saying, eating all this bull jab and expect their body to still be able to perform on a high level. And then a lot of these guys wonder why they're getting fatigued and wonder why, because they still trying to hang out and hang with girls and do whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, I do want to put that out there, man, that, taking care of your body and getting proper rest and drinking a lot of water and everything, is, it's longevity, and stretching. Tim Hardaway told me that too, man, like, man, stretching and yoga is longevity, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't get a lot of them jewels until I got a little older, because I was playing on pure talent and and pure adrenaline
and passion too,
Exactly,
Yeah, so I think that's critical, man, for people to really, really understand, like, it's not just about what you do on the court. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you weigh yourself down, and even to this day, like, when I was, the dean at Orr, like me and Lou and our man TJ, we used to set it to where, like, if y'all come through the metal detectors and y'all got like flaming hots and stuff, you can't bring them in the building. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you wonder, the things that you put inside your body, you gonna kind of act those things out. And like what you were saying, if it's music, you go to some schools not able to put headphones in. Ain't no telling what's going into their head, into their mind, into their bodies. And now you wonder why we have this, say, big issue with, anger, violence, mental issues. So I'm, glad that you was able to talk about that. Just one, the work ethic, but then also the things that it takes to get to that next level. So with, like transitioning into that, I had a conversation with Gilbert Arenas and I don't want to skip over the, the good times at Markham.
Hey, hold on for 1 second. It's froze. You say just leave it and then come right back in?
Yep.
Okay, hold on for 1 second.
Again, how we talk about how basketball and life are synergistic. So we got my man Jobba Maxey, been knowing Jobba, man, since I was like, 5-6 years old, growing up in Harvey, and we gonna help the people, Yep. So we're gonna do some Q&A, a little bit later, but so Jobba, when we get into, like Markham used to be rocking, like one of the first real pro, right? And especially in the suburbs, we know Chicago State, we know IT, all those other places. Malcolm X back in the day used to be rocking, but y'all had Markham rocking. But the time when it was at South Suburban, a time to shine, my big bro, Mike Manson, when y'all went over to South Suburban, and I never forget Gilbert Arenas, was talking to me. He was coming off his knee injury.
That was my man. That's my man.
Yeah. Gil showed me a drill that I use with my players, kind of as punishment, but he was like, they had him doing that to rebuild his knee. So, especially on the college level, if you got to go to treatment, if you got to go to the trainer, and, it's funny because I used to come in Fernwood, when y'all used to play, if it's Tuesdays mornings or Thursdays, and you walk in, session might start at, I think at that time 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yep, 9 in the morning.
But y'all may not start playing at 9:30, 9:45 because everybody's stretching. They're putting on the icy hot.
Right.
And they don't have to be old. But let's talk about, the pro-am section, because now you still putting up numbers, you still playing, still working people out. But now you kind of switch your value to the game of basketball,
right.
and now you become more so of a host. You were still playing, but then you were,
right.
you become a host. And
yeah, and the reason for that, little bro, is because like I wanted to bring basketball and bring the culture and some richness of basketball to the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up going to watch Michael Jordan play at IIT and at Chicago State and all that stuff back in the days, and going to watch the pro-am, but we didn't really have nothing in the burbs. Absolutely. And so the thing is I was genuinely funny, and I still can hoop. So by me hosting, I still have respect for the players. I just want to add some excitement to the game, but I still want to play, because a lot of those young cats that was coming to the league back then and to my league, they didn't think I can play.
Absolutely.
So I'm still, because they wasn't a part of my era. So I'm like, I still got some juice in me. So I'm like, I'm gonna hoop.
Yep.
But it came with a lot of little backslap, because people thought, because it was my tournament, it was my referees, I get a foul call or whatever, a lot of that stuff. But other than that, I still was competitive, and I still want to show these guys, because like guys wasn't believing at that time. I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
I was in my 30s still getting buckets, you know what I'm saying? Like, and these guys is fresh in college and about to go play ball pro and all that. And so I just wanted to let them know, like I get a lot of guys come to me all the time, like, Jobba, man, whatever you doing, bro, to stay youthful and stay in shape, man, I want to be where you at. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like I just want to let these guys know, like, Chicago culture basketball don't stop with just when you 25. I mean, basketball, man, it's got 40 and over leagues, 50 and over leagues, 60 and over leagues, older guys, and the fellowship and the camaraderie is still there, man. So, I mean, I want to do that, man, just because I still had love for the game, and I just want to take the game to another level as far as being in the burbs.
So now talk about that feeling, because, y'all literally had pros flying in just for the weekend.
Yeah.
Talk about that feeling of knowing that, I mean, as you said, we bringing rich basketball to the place that you grew up, the South suburbs, but also giving, because it was family friendly.
Yeah.
So you're giving young kids an opportunity, to meet some of their idols, guys that they seen on TV today, unless, with us, Bulls tickets was cheap back then, but unless, and everybody still didn't go to a Bulls game, but unless you were privileged enough to be able to go and pay to see those guys, but y'all was making it real affordable for the whole weekend to be able to see star-studded players. So, like, how did that make you feel at that time, man?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I have to credit my relationships with, young NBA players that I either trained or saw growing up back in Chicago, like Bobby, Antoine Walker, and guys like that. Those guys, man, they helped big time. And then also, like, I used to go down to hoops and watch those guys work out and everything. And then I would let them know, like, man, I got a league and it's dope. And so once the word got out, them NBA players was telling other NBA players, like, man, you come to Chicago, you got to go to this league out in the suburbs, man. It's rocking. And and that's how I built the relationships with, like, Gilbert Arenas and all those guys. They would come. And not only that, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I treat those guys like pros.
Yeah.
I treated them like pros. They didn't walk through my door, man. As soon as they walked through my door, I let it be known. Man, I had personal one-on-one conversation with these guys, let them know if anything that they need. I laid the red carpet out. And I'm gonna come back on this, but I just want to deviate a little bit away from that. And when I was telling you that I treated these guys like pros.
Yeah.
People wonder why Chicago basketball is falling, and it is.
Yeah.
So Chicago basketball is falling. And I had a long talk with Jabari Parker just a week and a half ago about this.
Yeah.
And the reason being, when Tim Grover had hoops, and Michael Jordan used to work out there, all the pros would come in town.
Yeah.
And work out there. Yeah. And then while they here, they will go play in the pro-ams all through Chicago. Yeah. Right? When Eddie Curry, Antoine Walker got robbed, that put a big bet. That was big, because at that time, Antoine Walker is employee number 8, and Eddie Curry is kind of hot in the NBA a little bit as a young buck. Yeah. Right? And then put on top of that, the crime. Yeah. Right? Yep. That's 1 and 2. Yep. Eddie and Twan getting robbed. The crime is super high here in Chicago. That's 2. Number 3 is we have that I don't give a F who you are mentality. So if Derrick Rose, somebody walked in the gym, I don't get no F. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going, they don't get treated like pros, right? So you put all that on top. And then when Tim Grover left hoops, no pros was coming back here. What's up, Steve? My big bro, Steve Alexander. Yeah. No pros was coming back to Chicago because all those fractions, Eddie Curry and Twan them getting robbed, Bobby Simmons getting robbed. The pro-am was falling off. The NBA players wasn't playing because of contracts and money issues with the league, and they didn't want to get hurt to mess up their money. Yeah. And so let me fast forward, and then let me go back. When I did the Ball Up League at Dunbar. Yeah. Because that was after Time to Shine, right? After Time to Shine. Yep. I did the $1 Million Summer Challenge, and it was on ESPN. Yeah. Tony Bennett and them won the league. They won the money. They won $50,000 here. I gave them $50,000 plus. We fly to LA. Derrick Rose and Will Bynum come walking in the gym to support us in LA. They walked in with 15 security guards. And you know what I did? I was like, yes, that's how it should be. They should get treated like pros. Now, Will Bynum and Derrick Rose can walk around here right now, and ain't nobody gonna mess with them or gonna walk up to them. Right. And I was like, man, do you understand what it takes to get to where they at? The NBA is the greatest show on earth to me, and they need to get treated like pros. So pros don't come here no more because they don't get that same treatment. So guess where they going, bro? They're going to the Drew League in LA. Yeah, they can walk in there. They're gonna get pictures taken. They're gonna be all over the social media. Yeah, and they're getting treated like straight pros. Everything. Yeah. Yeah. And so now I had to talk with Jabari because, no disrespect, I love Anthony Davis. That's one of my young fellas, and I love all these pros. D Wade, I know all these guys personally. Yeah, but D Wade is not coming back to Chicago. Right. Derrick Rose, he's an introvert, and that's just truth be told. Derrick Rose, just who he is. Yep, that's who he is. Yep. Bobby Simmons, he's older. He ain't really, he got businesses. Yep. Antoine Walker is older. A lot of these young cats don't even understand or relate to these guys. Yep. Will Bynum is still around, but Jabari Parker is the only person that can rejuvenate the major pro-ams in Chicago because he lives here. He come back here. He would come back in the pro-ams and the Shy League and all that stuff, and he come to play. Yeah. So we need him. Yeah. Now, so yes, sir, Steve, love you, man. You get the Shy League, or you get Ball Up, and can you talk about for the people that don't understand the inception of the Shy League, because the name it get now, is like, man, the money ain't right. They don't want to do this, use us. Like, and I know that you was kind of front and center with all that. Can you talk about at what point with the Shy League did, what were they trying to do with the Shy League, and how come you think that it kind of fell off? Any reasons outside of the 3 that you mentioned about the pros? That's a great question right there. So back when I had my league in the burbs at South Suburban, Nike came to me and they wanted the front my league.
Yeah.
They wanted to change the name. And at that time, I was almost in the middle of moving to Houston.
Okay.
And so then the head people from Nike was like, okay, well, we thinking about want to do something in Chicago. Would you help us? And this when I start understanding the brands and everything.
Yeah.
They got all the money in the world.
Absolutely.
They got all the money, but they don't got the know-how.
Yeah.
So they will come into your city and then they will fish. They will ask around and find out who's doing what. They're going to latch on to them. Then they're going to give them a boxes of shoes.
Yeah.
They're going to make you feel super good. They did that to me. They was shipping these shoes to whoever I wanted to ship to, my daughter, whoever. They was giving me all the product in the world, but no money. And I was cool with it. So, but they was flying me in every other weekend for their meetings before they did the Chi League. And I would sit down and watch all these guys sit in this meeting, bro, and over on Rush Street at the Nike office, and was just going crazy. And it was upsetting because these people ain't even from here, and they look at these Chicago cats like, man, these dudes is crazy. Yeah. So I'm sitting in the back cut, and I'm like shaking my head on the inside, like, damn. But they got granted what we wanted, what the guys wanted. And so we end up hooking up with Ty Slaughter, doing it over at Whitney Young, right? Yeah. Boom. Everything went good. This is where it messed up at. The players start demanding too much. The players are starting to feel like they need us. Yeah. So we get what we want out of them. Yeah. Little do they know that they was really draining Nike out. Right. Nike spent millions of dollars on that league, and then they spent at least $3 million when they took it over to the league. Yeah. They spent big money. Then the players, so think about this. Here's a guy that never played probably college ball, playing on a little, a team that was put together to play in this pro-am, and he went down 79th Street and see his picture on a bus stop. Yeah, absolutely. You ride down the E-way and you see your picture on a billboard. Now your head swell up. Exactly. Yeah. So now you feel like you in the league and you got a contract with Nike, and now you can get whatever you want. Yeah. So what Nike messed up is they pacified the city, gave them everything they wanted, and then said, we ain't gonna do it no more. Because it was too much. And then not only that, new people start coming into Nike. You know what I'm saying? It was a female came in, new people started coming in, and they wanted to move into a more eclectic lifestyle with the brand. So now you notice they doing more stuff with like skateboarders. They doing more with art and fashion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I told Jabari that it's going to be up to him. My bad. It's going to be up to him and I told Jabari that I will humbly work for you. Right. If you come and put your face on the league, we put a brand behind it, I'll run it. Because I showed him all my paperwork. I told him all my paperwork I did when I managed Ball Up. Yeah. I had $160,000 budget. Yeah. And so when I managed Ball Up, I told him I can manage it and I can run it. I know how to bring a healthy staff in there that's not needy and all that stuff. And because it's going to have to start all over, but we're going to need somebody like a Jabari Parker to jump it off. And then maybe when Jabari come, we can get, the other older guys like my frat brother, Bobby, and what's up, EP? And we get a brother like EP. I can't read this.
No, you basically answering that question, Jobba. You know what I'm saying? What does it take to get the pro-am scene back the way it used to be? So I just wanted to post it up. He actually posted it earlier, but I didn't put it up until we got to that topic. So I just wanted,
and you know what, man? I want to shout out EP, man. Here's a guy that I met that has been genuine, because you meet these guys on the basketball level, and you got he around a lot of basketball players. Some people think that he either wants something from them or nothing. Yeah. One thing about EP, man, and if I do something with Jabari or whatever, and we try to bring this back, most definitely EP is going to be equal status, and I want to bring EP with me with equal status on this endeavor. Yeah. And because EP is one of the most genuine cats that I know. Man. That's doing this thing with basketball and real recognize real. Like I had to, EP is a great dude, and he's doing it from the heart. And so,
Absolutely.
EP, if you listening, man, I know I just saw you on here. If you listening, EP, whatever I got going on, when because I'm coming back, I had a lot of time to think and reflect on, about basketball and how basketball is falling off in Chicago. Man, we used to be the Mecca. You know what I'm saying? Man, we literally falling off, and that's
Yep.
sad to say. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? With
Yep.
all the talent and all the NBA players that come
Yep.
out of this town, so EP, man, I'm working on some stuff, and I'm willing to bring you in, man. Equal partner, not none of that. I'm over the top. It has nothing have to do with status or station. It has everything to do with bringing Chicago basketball back to where it should be.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I mean, he is a genuine dude, and what a lot of people don't know is that like he spent a lot of his own money to help
Yep.
people. If it's gym time, whatever. And
Yep.
we actually had the opportunity of working at a like semi-pro camp, and I told him then, one, and it goes back to what we were saying earlier, just that respect level. You said real recognize real when you understand,
exactly.
Somebody that's genuinely for serving somebody else and helping somebody else, that goes a long way, but when you get to see, the snakes or, people that that ain't really in it for nothing other than them, then, it definitely, gets harder to help those people. But now let's, get into, what a lot of people don't know, and some may know, but you are I would like to call you a community activist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you out here front and center, not only helping serve the, community, good knowledge and good education, but, you are an activist if it's standing up for something, standing in the middle of the street, in private areas. But like, can you talk about just the love that you have for your people? Right. And I'm talking about God's people, just the love that you have for people to where you want to advocate for them and help them make it better. Like, can you talk about that for a minute, Jay?
Most definitely, man. I just feel like, man, growing up, understanding again who I am as a Black man, understanding who we are as a people.
Yeah.
What's up, JP? John Portis, man. He a bad dude. Thornton Wildcat. But I just want people to understand, like, and have the mindset that I know everybody not going to think the same.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people don't have the resources to be able to get things done. And some people do need somebody to stand up for them. And I'm not no Malcolm X or nothing like that. I just feel like I want to be able to be a part of the cause and not the problem. I don't want to be, one of those guys that's sitting in the back saying, oh, he should have did that, or they should have did this, when I can be out there, or, front and center trying to help, whether it be a group of individuals or specific or individual. And I just feel like, the things that I've done in my community, which is Harvey, and the things that I've helped do in the city of Chicago, and the people that I know from a political standpoint, to the hood, that we can still get things done. And I just do not like to see people getting bogusly treated, and not know that they're getting bogusly treated. So on and so forth.
Yeah, I love that, man. You say be part of the cause, not the problem, and that's like, I mean, that's a whole sermon, you know what I'm saying, within itself. And, but again, I think it goes back to knowing knowing who you are. So when we talk about Chicago culture, we know, like, and the man not even from here, but we love MJ, and we talked about that earlier.
Most definitely.
Where does the name, and I actually posted, there you go, and I actually posted, your grammar school picture up, but like, and you was wearing, number 23 back in the Harvey days. Like, where does the name Jobba Jordan come from?
Man, I'm gonna tell you the true story. Now, I've never been the one to self proclaim myself or self-name myself. You know how Chicago, like in New York, if you get a name on the streets, it came from somebody else.
Absolutely.
I never woke up and said, man, I'm Jobba Jordan.
Right.
Even though the love and the respect and the admiration I have for the GOAT is uncanny, but I went to go play in a league in the Gardens, Argyle Gardens, and my man Red that throw the tournaments out there, the outside tournament.
Yeah.
And we had our squad. We went out there to go play on the outside.
Yeah.
And I used to love playing on the block. I can shoot the ball and do it, but I used to love posting up.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I just wanted to be like Mike, but I wasn't. And I like telling people, if you're gonna be like somebody, be like the best person, so the best person to play. So
absolutely.
I used to try to emulate my game like MJ. So I used to get on the block and do my post move, fading away.
Yeah.
But was effective.
Yeah.
And I never forget, man, I scored about 40 something out there one day. And Red put me, well, after the league was over with, G-Ball was like, man, because one dude was like, man, who is old boy, man? Where he from? G-Ball, like, he from Harvard. They're like, man, what's his name? G-Ball said, man, his name is Jobba Jordan.
The rest is history.
I swear to God, boy. I go back to the guards, like, what up, Jobba Jordan? Jobba Jordan, right? And that started in the guards. Next thing you know, everybody was like, Jobba Jordan, Jobba Jordan. And then they started going crazy. They started naming all types of long names, James Jordan. But but Jobba Jordan, man, literally came from the guards, bro. And then I was great. I was thankful enough to be put on Red's top 50 greatest player ever that played to ever play in the Gardens in his league. So,
and you know what? Hold on, Jobba. Pause for a minute because everybody don't understand that. One, you was playing on a blacktop, but that Gardens tournament at that time, we talking outside, and we talking, Argyle Gardens. And if you don't know the Gardens, you'll get lost up in there trying to get out, right? But can you talk about that excitement, that environment, playing in that tournament?
I think I played well in the guards because I was scared.
Yeah.
I think I was so scared. You know how you got that adrenaline flowing?
Yeah.
You see dudes standing on the side, but you don't know what they on. It's just packed outside.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, man, I don't know, but I think I just got busy out there because I was scared till I got comfortable. And then, I started getting, rocking out with the guys out there. But man, the Gardens, bro, was a tournament. It was probably my top 3 tournaments I ever played in. As far as a competition, guys that you ain't never saw before coming from all over the city, from West Portland area, West Side, South Side, burbs, everywhere. They was coming to play in that tournament, and it was outside. We only played inside if it rained. And it was well put together. Big Red, man, shout out to my big bro, man, put that tournament together. And you talking about culture, you know, at Harvey, we have our own culture. The Gardens got their own culture, you know, the Gardens. And for me to go out there and perform under that type of pressure, and I'm talking about real hoopers out there getting it in. And, you know, it was just a test to my hard work. And then for me to be named the top 50 players to ever play in that. And I saw some of the names up on that wall. I'm talking about some names. And I was like, oh, wow. It made me feel good.
And so
and Steve said they argued a lot.
Argued a lot. So now to Steve's point, you know, to the young athletes watching, or, you know, the parents that's going to show this today, athletes, and even some of the coaches, like, can you talk about the importance of being locked in and focused on the game, you know, because I mean, it was probably, you know, they probably had, you know, the liquor out, you know, they probably, you know, they were betting, all type of arguments. But can you talk, you know, heckling, but can you talk about the importance of, if it's on a high school level, college level, pro level, park level, you got to be, and even in life, you got to be focused on what you're focused on. So, like, can you talk about that?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, and to piggyback off that, like playing in the gardens, man. When you playing against the team from the gardens,
Yeah,
and their games be super packed,
super
and I'm
packed.
talking about people standing up right behind the rim. So when you lay it up on a fast break, you falling into the crowd.
Yep,
You hearing all types of stuff.
yep,
Now, either you gonna get taken out your game, somebody telling you, man, you get your A whoop
yep,
when it's over with,
yep.
all this and that. And they doing that to take you out your game.
Right.
But at the end of the day, man, I had to have a level of focus in this, and I had to stay locked in. You had to be just locked in,
Yeah,
because if you let somebody take you off your square, whether it be in business or whatever, then you lose.
yeah,
So I stayed locked in, man, and I think that's what separated, and that's probably what separated a lot of people, a lot of players, a lot of greats from the guys that's can be great. You know what I'm saying? Like the level of focus, you know what I'm saying? And as far as like in life, like you
yeah,
playing ball, but you go get a girl pregnant.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You get a girl pregnant, or you playing ball, but you out with your homies and they smoking weed, they get pulled over by the police. You losing your focus.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it goes for a lot of things in life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I stayed locked in, man, and I had fun while I was doing it.
yeah, yeah. No, that's amazing. Now, for the ones that you kind of cut it off earlier, and I want you to tell the story, but you was playing a song in the background, and
Mhm.
can
If
you
it froze again, but I want me to keep going out like this, or just
can
bring
you
it back.
see me?
I can see you, but you frozen.
Okay, so just go ahead and click out and click back in. We good.
Okay.
Yeah. So if y'all got any questions, drop them in. We're about to do the Q&A in a minute. Once Jobba get back, and after we get to, we talked about the Jobba Jordan, but I think what he talking about staying mentally locked in
Yeah.
is key. You got to stay mentally locked in basketball and in life. I mean, again, as I say, this right, understanding life through the game of basketball, because if you don't stay on your square, ain't no telling what might happen.
Right.
If it's on the court, off the court. But so you had certain song playing, prior to us getting on, and then when we first started, you had it playing. Can you give a backstory to that song?
Yeah. Here we go right here. I'm sorry, y'all. So I had this song playing. It's called Umi Says by Most Def. It's a dope song, first of all, you know what I'm saying? It's a dope song, but the song, I played the song because that's the song that when I was in the Jordan commercial
Yeah.
Back in the day, man, and it was pretty cool, man. And that was my first time ever hearing that song, and it still resonates with me every day. But yeah, this song here, man, was in the commercial that I actually was in with Michael Jordan, man. Actually, it was his most viewed commercial on YouTube ever.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, like, walk us through that commercial. Like, what was the commercial about? Like, what was the meaning of it? What was the whole purpose of it?
Well, the commercial was about it was man, it's crazy because it was about it's called the commercial is called Much Respect.
Mm.
Much respect. Like that goes so much, man. And that's what
Yeah.
I give, man. Like I tell people, man, much respect.
Yeah.
And so that commercial was called Much Respect. And I never forget, we did that commercial at Marshall High School.
Mm.
And so when we first got to the set, I didn't think Jordan was coming.
Okay.
I thought that he was just going to do his part and we was going to do our part, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I never forget this. So they got us in the dressing room, and so at this time, man, I had I'm tatted up. So one of the producers saw me without my shirt on and said, "You know what? You just keep your shirt off." And I was like, "Bet." So I put cut the sleeves off the shirt. I put the sleeve over my head.
Yeah.
So we just going through all these basketball drills and we just playing around. Next thing you know, we hear a loud noise.
Mm.
Boom. And everybody did like this at the same time. And it was Jordan.
Mm.
In real life.
Yeah.
I thought I was dreaming on the set. On the set. I swear, I was the first one to him. Yeah. I just laid my head in his chest. I said, MJ, you my man. And so then he's like, man, y'all are here hooping, man. It's all y'all got. He took his jacket off, and the commercial was so organic. It was unbelievable, man. We just started playing, and it just so happened that, and I'm gonna just tell you this other story. It's funny. My man Skinny Al, Tall Al, he was in the commercial too, right? So after the commercial was over with, like a week later, we all get these checks. So the check was like $225.
Yeah.
So me, G-Ball, Kimon, and Al, we was all in the commercial that knew each other. We get these checks. And so it was a check for being an extra.
Okay.
So man, we cool, man. $200 back then. We cool. I'm finna go to get me some gym shoes.
Yeah.
2 days later, I get another check for like $1,500 in the mail. Right? So then I call Al. I'm like, Al, I got me another check, man. You get you another check. Al was like, no, man, I ain't been home yet, though. I'm gonna go check my mail. So he go home, he ain't get no check. So he like, man, maybe mine coming tomorrow.
Right.
The next day I get another check, $2,500.
Damn.
I'm like, maybe they messed up.
Right.
But I ain't saying nothing. I'm going straight to the currency exchange. I'm busting my checks down, right? True story. Then the next day, $1,300. So then Al say, man, I'm finna call these people, man. Right? I said, Al, don't call them, man. You're gonna mess up my thing, man. Don't call them. He ended up calling them. He called Talent Partners in New York. That's where they were sending the text from. He said, yeah, I was in this commercial, Much Respect commercial, and we got a check. She was like, okay. Then she was like, but one of my friends, I forgot his name. He gonna say I forgot his name because he want to throw me under the bus.
Right.
He said, one of my friends, I forgot. He said, no, one of the guys, I forgot his name. He got like 5 checks. She was like, did he have a speaking role in the commercial? And she was like, then she asked him. He was like, no, but said nothing. She was like, well, was his face show like a lot in the commercial? He was like, yeah. And she was like, this has to start understanding commercials.
Right.
She was like, well, he's what you call the principal of the commercial.
Oh.
So over a period of that summer, I got like $39,000.
Damn.
I got all the check stubs still to this day.
Wait a minute. So they call that the what, Jobba?
The principal.
Okay.
So I got a buddy, man. He do commercials for Dr. Pepper. He's from Chicago. He live in LA. Okay. And man, I must have seen him in like 15 different Dr. Pepper commercials. I know how much money he made.
Right.
Without him even telling me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I start understanding commercials. Like if you look at these commercials, you see somebody with a speaking role in a major commercial. And then if it's Aaron during a certain time, whether it be the Super Bowl or big time NBA game, they getting the paid.
Yeah.
Checks is just rolling. So I got like almost 40 G's, man, in one summer. And so now they only show the commercial on YouTube.
and but I mean, again, just being ready and being prepared for that role, and then probably maybe because you was first to Mike or going back to you was just organic, and now if it's with the smile that everybody know and love, but like, can you talk about the importance of being sociable? Like, everybody may not be an extrovert, but you have to like know how to speak. You have to know how to carry yourself. Like, he's starting to wind down, but can you talk about that? The importance of, just being sociable and knowing how to carry yourself.
Man,
they land you a whole lot of checks.
Right. You just never know where it would take you, man. Like, man, just being genuine and social. And I still want to credit that to, growing up with 2 brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all we did was communicate with each other and talk with each other on every type of level. And we was always respectful to the older people in the community, even though we did our thing, but we was never disrespectful. I knew how to talk with people, whether it was, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the opening thing, like, hey man, what's going on? How you doing, brother? You all good? Like, I see how stoic people is nowadays, especially in New York, man. No disrespect to my New York buddies, but man, New York people is real stiff, man. You walk down the street and man, they look at you like you stole something, and then here, you give eye contact to somebody in the hood and they, you turn away because you want to make sure that you eyeballing them long enough. So it's kind of crazy, but man, understood how to communicate with body language. Always the first to do the first. But my little brother said I was always the first. Yeah, man. But I was just, and I also want to say, man, growing up in Harvey, man, like my roots to Harvey taught me everything that I know and do still to this day.
Yeah.
No cap.
Yeah.
Harvey taught me everything, bro. Yeah. Everything. My ups and downs was in Harvey.
Yeah.
My everything was from Harvey, bro, and my brothers and my family and my friends. And I would never ever. I would never. If I had to change my life over, I would never change that part. And and that they just taught me so much, man. And I never was scared, and I never was afraid to do anything. So I guess that just turned over into the person that I am, far as me talking with people and not scared to confront a situation, and not scared to humble myself at the same time.
Absolutely, because that's big. Just being able to humble ourselves, or just being meek. Whichever word that you want to use. But and
another thing, bro, I want to say this, man. Like, I really care. Like, I really genuinely care for my friends, man, and my loved ones, man. Like, I really care. Like, I sometimes I'll be like, man, me and my brothers, we used to always be like, man, are we just different, or is everybody else? Is it just us or everybody different? It's like we didn't we still had these conversations. Like, man, I wonder why a lot of our homies and a lot of people that we see out ain't like us. We just expect everybody to be like us, and it ain't. But I just told them to be the best us who we can, and just keep on spreading love.
Yeah, and that's so true, man. Even on the basketball court, it's like people see things and they want to be like somebody else, and but they don't know why somebody is doing it. So, like, I can't be a Jobba can't be a Carvel, or John L. Sloan can't be a Steve Alexander, or vice versa. We have to be genuine, and that's really what attracts people. You know what I'm saying? Because once we start trying to, well, he do it this way or she do it this way, and it goes back to what you were saying about the whole competition thing. God told me a few years ago, he was like, man, 1 + 1 = 2. He said, but 1 and 1 makes 11. So we got to start collaborating more than we are, competing, especially off the basketball court.
Right.
So, like, again, going back to those eyes, Jobba Jordan, Jobba Maxey, when you going into the gym, if it's you on the mic, you watching the younger generation, even you playing, like, but let's take it really for like the high school kids trying to get into college and the college level kids. What have you seen that needs improvement for, basketball game now?
What needs improvement far as an individual game, or
that you see over and over again that like people just don't have no more?
So I feel like these young high school kids, it's either all the way to the basket or the Steph Curry 3. Everybody want to shoot the long ball. They want to utilize a lot of energy in dribbling. 15, 20 dribbles to get their shot off, and which becomes more of a selfish act of playing basketball. I don't see the mid-range game being perfected. Like breaking down, getting to your spot. Like, if you look at Kobe and Michael Jordan's highlights or their career highlights, just Google some stuff. Jordan and Kobe knew how to get to their spot within 3-4 dribbles.
Talk about it.
They knew how to get to their spot. Like my brother say, fundamentals. They was fundamentally sound, and I think these kids, they super freaks on when it comes to athleticism. You know what I'm saying? They jumping out the gym, they shooting super long shots, but I just feel like these guys is not getting to spots. I don't see in Chicago. I'm not seeing a lot of true point guards no more. We lose in size. I don't see too many bigs. Like, I remember when I was playing, and you walk in the gym, it's 2, 3, 6, 9s in there. So you're going down to the block. You ain't going down to no block. You get beat down. But uh, but I do see the future of Chicago basketball, and I see it's promising. We got some young cast that's coming up, that's real thirsty and real hungry for the love and the passion of the game. And but I do see that we losing the mid range game, though, the mid range part.
Okay, and again, going back to your relationship, with all these guys that have been pros, play on the pro level, or any pro level.
Mm-hmm.
But can you said it, and I don't want you to speed past it because I don't want people to miss it. And it's not just Kobe and Jordan, because even though you could pull up for three, but like you ate off the mid-range game. The Jobba that I always watch, 8 off the mid-range game. Yeah, you could drop a 3, but you could get to the hole, but that like 12 to 18 foot, and in a half-court game, you can't do all that dribbling because you're going to clog up the court. So can you talk about being able to make that move and get past the defender or the secondary defender in 2 to 4 dribbles? Because I mean, if you can dribble over, let me ask you this question, because I heard Tim Hardaway as well as Isaiah Thomas give their number. What's the number of dribbles that you would say that it takes to get from one end of the court to the other?
No more than 4.
Okay, so if that's full court, so can you talk about the importance of being able to make your move in a half court in 2 to 3 dribbles?
Oh, very important. Like, I want to put this out there. Like, if kids playing cutthroat or something like that, they should implement no more than 3 dribbles.
Yeah,
no more than 3 dribbles. I never forget, man. I went to MJ crib, and one of the guys was boom, 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 just out there doing all this. Michael Jordan stopped the game.
Yeah,
he was like, man. He said, man, if you can't make your move in 3 dribbles, man, you wasting energy and time.
Yep. So that energy and time.
Right. And I'm not, I never was one of those guys that had crazy handles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I can control the ball and I can get to my spot. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't going to stop me from getting to my spot. I knew how to get to my spot and get my shot off. Whether I hit or miss, I knew how to get to my spot.
And so now that's the second thing that I want to talk about, getting to your spot. So like a couple years ago, LeBron James hit that shot against the Pacers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, he caught a half court, 2 dribbles. And he got to that spot, and I always, when you see guys working out, going back to when you said you could have played with Trey Webb and them, but your senior year, you didn't play to focus on academics, but you kept working out. Right. Everybody don't know how to work out. You got to work out like game speed. You got to be, get,
and the thing, and the thing about working out, man, like people go in the gym and work on their strengths. Like, no, you're going there and work on the stuff that you need to work on.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm now. I mean, I can play with either hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, I see guys going to the gym and doing the same stuff. I'm like, man, why'd you come in here? You can't even dribble 3 times with your left.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you come in here and work on something that you need to work on instead of going in there shooting 50 jumpers in one spot? That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
People think, well, I got 150 shots, 200 shots around the horn.
It don't mean nothing.
That don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
That's not gonna. Yeah.
I always say, like, you got to get to you got to play game speed and take them game shots from your game spot. And you said it 4 or 5 times. You know where your spot is. And if you get to your spot, it's all curtains.
You cook. So you let me get in my spot. But I'm gonna tell you something. I worked on getting to a lot of spots. I know some people like to shoot on the right side of the floor. They like to attack on the right. Like when I scout people, I'm like, this one kid I was watching, everything he did was on the right side of the floor. I'm like, man, what can you do on the left side of the floor? Can you create for others? You know what I'm saying? Like you doing the same, moves on the right side of the floor. You know what I'm saying? So only thing I would do is sit on his right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and make him do something totally different. So I worked on just I worked on counter moves, you know what I'm saying, like chairs and stuff that. Counter moves.
And I don't want people to get lost in it, right? So Jobba not saying that he couldn't be effective from other spots, but even if you had 8 to 9 spots on the court, you knew if you got to one of those spots,
it was
the shot percentage was going to be that much higher.
Most deaf.
Then you get into your other spots. So how do young athletes, even college level athletes, how do they know they spot? Like what made you know this is one of my spots?
Yeah, because when I used to talk to people back in the days, and you know, I used to hear that all the time, like the mid-range game was a lost art. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I knew that I can get past you because of my quickness.
Yeah.
And I knew that I can break you down off the dribble because I used to love to get to the basket. But then when sometimes you have to understand, like when you get to the next level college, it's 6'9" guys and they're waiting on you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's 6'9", 6'10" guys and they're waiting on you. And so you're going to go in there and unless you're a super freak athlete jumping over these cats, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't going there to finish on these guys all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand, once you can get into the teeth of a defense or the zone or whatever, you have to be able to get your shot off right there. You know what I'm saying? So like I did a lot of stuff like dribble past the tears, in and out, pulling up, you know what I'm saying? Like short jumps. I used to work on like little small stuff, you know, because I knew that I can shoot the long ball and I can get to the basket. But what you gonna do in between that 30 feet, in between that 21-5? You know what I'm saying? And that's the money maker right there. Like people don't understand. That's where the money made at.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Everybody that pick up a basketball want to shoot a three. Everybody pick up a basketball that's athletic want to dunk.
Yeah.
Okay, what can you do outside of that offensively? You know what I'm saying? With your offensive skill set. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can shoot a three. Like you got a 50% chance if you throw that mug up regardless. But what can you do inside to be more effective?
And you know, to go back to your point about earlier, you know, when you was watching Darion, you know, you had to study him, but being a student of the game, you know, and being a student of the game now, even on the defensive end, if you know what the opponent spot is, y'all playing Rob and Cyrus. Well, if you know what they spots are because you studying them, now if you take away their spot, you made your job on defense that much easier because you taking away you know what they want to do.
Hey, look, I was just watching Will Bynum talking on his Instagram story about how Pat Bev was like, he got drafted by Miami Heat, then got to go overseas. And so Pat Bev called Pat, was like, man, what can I do to get to the league?
Right.
Will say, man, do something ain't nobody else doing. You're like, man, play D. Play D until you fall in love with it. Fall in love with it like you love to shoot the ball and love to score and all that. If you love it, fall in love with playing defense. Fall in love with it. And he said, stuff gonna start changing. Sure enough, because you know Pat led the state in scoring.
People don't understand that.
Yeah, he led the state in scoring over Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
And so Pat started playing D and fell in love with it, and now got him where he at. $20-some million. Yeah.
Just being different. Yeah, love it. Now, how important is it to also understand the language of, you know, because, you know, even the same way we talk about the guards, you know, you got to know the territory. You know, wars have been won because the, you know, opponent don't know the territory, you know, but the same way with territory, it goes into language. You know, you just said something, get into the teeth of the defense, or if we saying get to the elbow, you know, make an L cut, you know, make a, you know, flash screen, come off a flare. Like, how important do you think it is for young athletes to know the language? And then how important do you think it is for the coaches to be able to talk in basketball language? Because, you know, Buzz may say certain things, I may say certain things, that, and it mean the same, but it's a different language. But how important do you think it is for those coaches to, like, just that general conversation? Because I understand what you mean, getting the teeth for the defense. But somebody might be like, man, what the hell are you talking about?
Right. So, but the thing is like these coaches nowadays have to take more time to teach. They have to take more time. See, a lot of these coaches is getting players from off the AAU circuit, and they just playing basketball off pure talent.
Yeah.
I think coaches need to do more coaching when it's during practice time.
Oh, I love
and because you can't be selfish as a coach just to teach these high school kids because they already talented, and you put 3 guys off of 8 big time AAU team together. Of course they're gonna win, and they're gonna win. But what about the other guys? And what about the coach? But are you really setting these guys up for the next level? Or are you setting these guys up for failure? Because then that's what's wrong with our Chicago cat. They get all this talent. We ain't really coaching them. We ain't really hitting them with fundamentals. We ain't really putting them through no adversity on the high school level. Then when they get to college, they playing against guys from all over the country that was all American, and they was all good where they come from. Now you put all these guys together, and then these coaches expect you to know this stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you get to that level, they expect you to know this. Now you go into practice and you don't know what a flare is, and you don't know what a V cut is.
Yeah.
And so now what that goes back to? That goes back to the coach.
Yep. So how important do you think, as you said something, and I talk about this often, the transition, right? How important do you think it is for the high school coach to start teaching the things for the next level? And Rob had talked about it where he tell them in January, like, y'all in the next grade. You know what I'm saying? The freshmen, y'all sophomores, y'all juniors, y'all seniors, y'all on the college level. That transition time, once you get to the college level, and I know me, if we start working out in September, and if it takes you into like the first week of the season in November to pick up on it, a college coach might send you home by that point, because
you behind. You behind.
Yeah. So can you talk about just that transition? And you got to be ready on the hop.
Yeah. And so the thing is, man, like you said, it's gonna be all about the individual coach, bro, because at the end of the day, you got some coaches that care, you got some coaches that don't care. You just got coaches with jobs and they're not teaching. You got some coaches that's got talent and some that don't. So the thing is it's going to be tough, bro. And I'm going to tell you why. Because AAU basketball, a lot of these kids is not worried about fundamentals and being coached on the high school level. They worried about scoring 30 in one big AAU game on the circuit and getting ranked top 100. And then, you know what I'm saying? So the culture of high school basketball, I feel sorry for some of these coaches who don't have those players. And then, some of these teams that just ain't that good, they may have a team that's going to go out there and lose every game because they don't have no AAU kids. You know what I'm saying? So you got some of these coaches that got those AAU kids, and they got their luxury to sit back and let those kids just go, And so the thing is what do we do about those kids that's not AAU pedigree, that's in high school, want to play ball? You know what I'm saying? Because now these college coaches ain't really going to high school games like they used to. They're not going to those games. They spending their time over the summer. Everything is over the summer. And so AAU basketball, to me, is destroying the culture of basketball worldwide. Because think about this, bro. You put me on a team with Kobe, Shaq, LeBron James, and James Worthy. I'm an average 20. You know why? Because the focus ain't on me. So only thing I got to do is flatten out in the corner and knock down some threes.
That's it.
Right? And so it's just like AAU basketball. You got 5 great guys on the team. So any time a player can take a rest. Now, you take one player and put him on a regular team, one of those greats, and now see what he can do. When the focus is different, the focus it's totally different when you got 5 high school players. I mean, great AAU players on one team. They having fun out there. It's like Wade, LeBron, and them. You know what I'm saying? And so now you play with the cards you dealt now. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's different. And so then now you get those same AAU cats that's winning, and then they getting time managed because of high school. They don't want to play and get hurt during high school where it's supposed to really count. And then they go to college, they ain't ready.
Yeah.
They ain't ready. I done seen it happen to players. They ain't really ready. You know what I'm saying? It's some that's special and there's some that's just really not ready because they get managed different.
Right. Well, hell, there's over 800 people in a transfer portal right now. You know, and that's like people that haven't dealt with adversity. And I didn't know until Rob was on the show, but Rob said majority of the kids, the highest percentage of kids in the transfer portal is from Chicago.
Hey, bro, and it's all about discipline. Let me tell you something, bro. Chicago, I love this city, but we are the worst. Barbershop talks. We tell these kids how great they are. Man, they walking around like they already made $100 million. You know, they get a couple of pair of gym shoes from Nike because of the AAU team, and they feel so special. And they ain't made $1 playing basketball. And so we put them on this pedestal. And what we doing is failing these cats instead of being real with them. Like, dog, you need to work on this. You need to work on that. You know what I'm saying? But we failing these kids because of we giving them all this false hope on how great they are. We got these kids thinking they the next best thing to LeBron and Mike and Kobe. And then when they get to college and they get under that white coach, and you know what I'm saying, that got his own way, how he been doing things for the last 30 years, and you go in there thinking you finna just shoot all the balls, and then you go in there and find yourself smacking the floor playing defense. Now you want to transfer because the coach don't like you and this and that. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to do better by letting these kids know, like, man, look. And then we so wrapped up on this D1 thing.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
You know, like I signed with New Mexico State in the Big West, but I played NAIA Division I. It was the best move that I ever did. You know, I built relationships, and guess what? I can see the same people and abroad that been playing D1.
And you know what people don't understand is that, you know, and I made a video about this, but on an average D1 level, if a coach got 12 scholarships, 8 of them 12 was the best player on their high school team.
Right.
You know, but and so it's still top level talent at the Division II level. On the NAIA level, you know, that's a whole nother beast, because now most NAIA level are guys really like on their last turn. So it really means something to them.
Right.
Division III level, guys are, you know, tough because they want to be there. So like, you know what your mama said, basketball is what you want to do, right? So them dudes on the Division III level, they're playing because they want to play, but they really at a private school getting their education. People sleep on the JUCO level. It ain't just because you dumb or none of that. Like you have to develop, excuse me, in one of so many ways. So all levels have competition. It's just, can you bring it? And what most athletes don't understand, Jobba, what I, you know, and I talked to the young man earlier today. I said, like, you want to go D1. And I'm like, why? He like, because them the only dudes that go to the NBA. I'm like, man, listen, okay, we're going to pause from this call for a minute. And I'm going to talk to you the way nobody ever talked to you before. Like, because whoever has been teaching you has hurt you, because you so lost. You know, the mom didn't really know either. But I was trying to explain to him, when you say you only want to go D1, you can put yourself in the box. But now you saying that I only want to go D1, but I only got a 2.2. You ain't going nowhere then. You know what I'm saying? Because if your eyes are set on D1, but you don't have D1 grades, you can lower the amount of schools that can recruit you. And so these are things, you know, one of the purposes of this show, like, people don't understand all of that. And, you know, even with you going D1, then going JUCO, and now because your clock running, you can't go back D1.
Go back D1.
Well, nowadays, if you go JUCO or if you go Division I and then you transfer to the JUCO, even if you're a qualifier, you can't go back to D1 unless you graduate. It's called the 424 rule. And so if people aren't understanding the information and, you know, the rules, they'll never get it, you know. So I mean, I'm you know, glad that you brought that point up, because, you know, the high school coaches and, you know, the parents got to be more educated to know when the coach
You're right, Anton.
ain't taking care of your baby. You know, if the coach ain't taking care of your baby, parents need to be aware to say, hold on, this ain't really working. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like Billy said, him and Otheus went to the NBA from NAI. I mean, come on, man, it happens all the time. You know, look, Rob say they had 20 D1 players in their league. You know, Kevin Franklin got drafted by the Bulls. You know, from when y'all played. So you know,
hey, shout out, man, Rob. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man, Rob, that's a bad dude, man. Like what he's doing with these high school kids is it don't amaze me, man, because I know what that dude is about, bro. And I know Rob probably had to deal with all the politics and all the hate and everything, which is sad, but he can't help it because he has that it. He got that it.
You know the best quote, man, that he said the other night, that if you're a winner, people gonna hate you, right? Like so expect for people to not like you if you want to be a winner, right? So if you care about what people think, you can't be a winner, you know. Right. So I mean, that was real poignant, man. But
hey, man, I want to say this too, man. Hey, Rob, no disrespect, bro, but after y'all whooped us that first game, man, when I was at Oklahoma City, y'all beat us in that first conference play. Y'all the reason why we whooped everybody's ass, man. They the reason why we won the national championship, man. I promise you, man. They put it on us too, bro. Man, we went back and man, we couldn't believe it.
And so you know, I got a couple more questions for you, Job, and then we're gonna hop off, man. But like, can you talk about that feeling of losing and not wanting to feel that again? You know, because and not shitting on AAU, excuse my language, but it really don't matter because if I lose at 8, I'm gonna play again at 10.
Right. So the thing is, man, it's like don't nobody like to lose.
Yep.
What up, Barry? Don't nobody like to lose.
Yep.
But I can accept it.
Yeah. What up, B?
I'm not at the point where if I lose, I'm just gonna go crazy and tie stuff up and go berserk. I've learned and through life is you're gonna lose. Yep. I mean, you and I just tell people let losing be a teaching moment as well. Yeah. Let it be a teaching moment. Things that you can work on, because ain't none of us perfect. Ain't none of us at the peak of our game where we need to do this. That's in everything, man. Yep. Whether it be business moves or whatever, you may get shot down 20 times trying to open up a business or do something. Yep. But learn something from each of those moments. Mm-hmm. Build off of it. Like I remember my mother taking me off the basketball team when I was at Hillcrest. When I was good, I thought I was good, but that was like a loss to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like when Michael Jordan got cut. Man, just imagine Michael Jordan got cut his sophomore year. Yeah. Who gets cut their sophomore year and come back their junior and senior year? You go from getting cut and then becoming the best player in America. Yeah. If that don't fuel your fire, what does?
And now I'm gonna tell you the story because, back in the day when I used to go to Jordan camp and Mike told us the story, but his coach used to be there too. And what people don't understand is that Mike got cut from the varsity. He still played far south, so he still played on the sophomore level.
Okay.
But the sophomore year, him and his buddy both tried out for varsity. His buddy made it, but Mike got cut from the varsity. They kept him on the sophomore level. So now that's even more fuel because he, like you telling me that I'm not good enough to play on this level.
And his buddy was.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So it go back to kind of like Cooper Park. You know what I'm saying? You're like, no, I'm going to leave my mark in the city where I'm at. And then he was able to do that, even beyond college, man. So, now Jobba the business, man. Let's you and Bobby have done some things with the store or with the club, and you got some things going on. Talk to us about the business side as we getting ready to close. Like how important, especially us, right, blacks. Mm-hmm. Everybody say, man, I ain't doing business with blacks. I ain't, what I'm saying? They don't do good business.
Yes, a lot.
And you talk about the importance of integrity on the business side? If it's running the
Yeah,
AAU team, running
yes.
a store.
Man, look, let me tell you something. I'm gonna just put this short. I remember I did a party, my birthday party last year.
Yeah.
And my girl was like, baby, you think the party gonna have a lot of people there? And I said, I think so. So she was doubting me.
Mm-hmm.
And so the night of the doors opened up at 10. By 11:30, it was a line or wrapped all the way around the corner. They couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And my girl was like, damn. And so a guy came to me and said, Jobba, a lot of people can't pull this off. And I was like, what? He said, pull this party off like this. And I was like, what you mean by that? He said, if your resume is jacked up in the city of Chicago, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
You got to have a good resume. And what he meant, what he explained to me was the resume. Resume wasn't like something that I write or typed up. The resume is about being a good person and being genuine and being organic through your life travels.
Your life work.
If you a vindictive, evil dude doing bogus stuff to people, you know what I'm saying, taking people for whatever, you won't live long.
Yeah.
In Chicago, you won't live long.
Right.
Let alone be able to, do the party that I did with that type of magnitude of people coming through, showing love. You know what I'm saying? So like that taught me that had me reflect, as I'm coming up on my 50th birthday, it had me reflect on all the years through my life and through my travels of the stuff that I've done. And I know for a fact that all the good outweighed the bad.
Yeah.
And I know that I wouldn't be able to make moves or do nothing that I did without being a person that I was and growing up, you know what I'm saying, in these streets, you know what I'm saying? The streets ain't kind. You just have to be kind to it.
Absolutely. I love that. The streets ain't kind. You got to be kind to it, and that party wasn't like it was a grown and sexy party too. So, and that is a testament to you, if somebody dress up to come to an event that you have, that means that you go back like that handwritten letter that they had to put a lot of time and thought into that. So I think, that's a testament to you, and I, love that you, said that. And, let's be honest, all AAU teams aren't bad, right? Everybody don't run a bad program. Like all coaches aren't bad. Like Barry runs a great one. You know what I'm saying?
Man, yes, he do. I had the pleasure of going out there, Kankakee, man, and I love that dude, man. That's my little brother.
Yeah, me and Barry, man, and had a whole lot of conversation. Started his own. Like people talk about what the younger Ball did, right? But like Barry Bradford did that 20 years ago. Buying his own when it wasn't heard of. Buying your own semi-pro team and getting guys in and
and then building those relationships in that community, bro. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yep. So so I want to show you this, Jobba. Let me know if when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen yet?
I'm still looking at you right now.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Oh, wow.
Tell me what this picture mean to you, man.
Oh, man. So, bro, I'm going to tell you, man, Mr. Irvin, bro. Mr. Irvin, he is truly the godfather of Chicago basketball. The man welcomed me in his house, in his home, like I was his own, real talk. And not only that, I was close with the whole family. You know what I'm saying? Me and Mac played with each other. Nick, Mike, Lance, Byron, Cindy, the whole family, man. The mom is, and they so organic, a good family, man. One of the most close-knit big families you ever gonna meet. But Mr. Irvin meant a lot to me, man. I remember, I never forget, at a young age, I needed some gym shoes, and he was like, what size do I wear? He went downstairs and got me a pair of shoes, man, some Nikes that was so cold. I just couldn't believe it. And it was nothing to him. But I just went out there. I actually took some of the people from Ball Up out there to go see Chicago culture. And, Mac Irvin is a part of Chicago culture basketball, and
Absolutely.
and I went to go take a picture and just to pay my homage, you know, saying to the thing that Fernwood Park did, man. That was huge. The Park District to name that court after Mr. Irvin,
Yep.
and that's well deserved, bro. I mean, anything anything dealing with basketball, if you can't mention Mr. Irvin and Sonny Parker, you know, and so many more greats, you know what I'm saying? Billy the Kid, Billy Harris, you know,
Yep.
a lot of those guys, then you lost. And I think what we do need to do is like guys like myself, Paul McPherson do it because he's very vetted when it comes to the old school culture of basketball here in Chicago. You have to be attached to that to understand
Yeah.
where it was and where it's going.
Yep.
You know, if you're not attached to the past of Chicago basketball and don't understand it, you just playing in the here and the now,
Yep.
then you won't understand what a lot of people be talking about.
Yep.
And, but if you will sit down and take time to listen to some of the guys that's been there and done that and understand this culture,
Yep.
I think basketball moving forward will be in a good space
Yep.
here in Chicago.
So, you know, in you know, wrapping up, man, you know, I normally do a section called, you know, the hot seat, where I just ask some, you know, some spin-off questions, you know, nothing controversial, obviously, but just, you know, to get you thinking quick on your feet. But before I do that, you know, I really want you to, you know, because I was very intentional with, you know, some of the pictures that I put up in the ad. So, you know, I want to go back to this. And if
Okay.
you can just let me know, man, what, like, just one word, man, like what these pictures mean to you. Like,
Yeah, that's my heart, bro. That's my heartbeat. I mean, that dude there, like I said, my brothers, man, my two younger brothers, and you know, a lot of people think Jeff was older than me because he liked my big little brother. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And but this dude here made me tough, bro. Like gave me a lot of heart. He gave me a lot of heart. He didn't take no guys off the street.
yeah,
To get beat down on playing ball and this to give me that heart and or that mental toughness. It was that dude right there.
yeah. All right, now what about this one?
Man, my big brother, that's crazy. He just texted me yesterday to check on me. And I was gonna put a picture of me and him on my Instagram. Actually, that same picture right there, I was gonna
Okay.
post on my Instagram. Uh, Tim Hardaway, man, is the crossover king. He's a part of Chicago culture, man, and he's a guy that I always can call and
Yeah,
talk to about so much stuff pertaining to sports in Chicago, and just to get some advice from, man, the dude know he know what he's talking about, man. I've been knowing Tim for 20 plus years, man, and just great to have and know a guy like that, man.
product of the gardens too. You
Yes,
know,
our
the
real
product
gardens,
out of
baby.
our gardens.
The
And so
king of the crossover, king of
and
the crossover.
yeah, absolutely. Now this picture to me though represents what you were saying earlier. It looked like you asking a question. So you've
Yeah.
been a student of the game.
Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, Tim came to my league at Ball Up, and I walk up the bleachers while the game is going on, and I'm talking to him and asking questions
Yeah,
pertaining to what can I do to make this better and all
yeah,
types of stuff. Man, Tim just give me all types of sound advice, and he's
yeah,
real truthful and
yeah,
organic.
yeah.
I love that dude. Oh man, yeah, that game right there is against Central Arkansas. I'll never forget because I was having a bad game in the first half, and man, I got chewed out in the locker room, man, and I come out second half blazing, bro. But that's just to let these guys know that Jobba used to get up.
Yeah.
I used to get up.
Now, tell us the story, man. You got to tell the story about this court. I mean, because
Yeah,
this court says it all.
that's on 18th and State,
Yeah,
right across the street from the police department, underneath the L.
yeah,
That's the historical little outside court, man. If you are part of Chicago, man, if you ain't never been there, just go there and walk on the court or take a
yeah.
couple of shots out there, just so you can say you've been out there. But that picture there, man, I actually did a shoot, a photo shoot for the shot league.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for the
Okay.
shot league when it first popped off.
Okay.
Oh wow. And that's me. Oh man, that picture there, man. That's me, talking basketball and
Teaching.
stuff, teaching, man, in
Yeah.
a crowd at my
Yep.
basketball league. You know what I'm saying? Like to some of the guys that just don't see certain stuff like this,
Yep.
just teaching, man, and talking some wisdom to some of the brothers, man.
Yep.
I'm talking about these street guys,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know, bringing them together.
Yep. Okay. No, we got to stop here with Pooh.
One of the baddest players to ever come out of Chicago, man. People say what they want to say. This dude here was the rookie of the year and the MVP. Nobody never done that coming out of Chicago on a professional level here.
Right.
Man, Derrick Rose, man, is one of the most humblest brothers that I've ever met. And I'm saying that truthfully, man. This dude come out his busy day, brought his son to come and support my ball up league at Dunbar and just show some love, man. And I treated him like a pro.
Yeah.
When Derrick came, man, I made sure that Derrick was in my VIP section upstairs where nobody was coming to hound him and everything, and just wanted to let him be able to sit back and enjoy Chicago basketball. And I gave him that. And he gave me his presence, man. And I'm forever grateful.
Yeah, I love that, man. Now,
that's my man.
So, for people that don't know Maurice Carter, one of the best shooters.
Ooh, I call him Tiptoe Reese.
Yeah, but he's the owner of his own team too. But at this point, you are a bit older, but it says something about, to me, and why I put it in here, because like Reese is, like my big brother.
Yes, he is my big brother.
And at this age, not only are you still playing semi-pro, but it says a lot that you are helping somebody that means something to you to build their business. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Man, that's it. And wrapped up in one word, I just want to be able to show some love and support for my man. I don't care if I played 2 minutes or 5 minutes. I just want to be, a leader and be able to help my man and talk to some of the younger guys and just let them know, like, basketball ain't dead, man.
Right.
It ain't dead. Here I am, 20 years older than a lot of those cats, and I'm still getting it in.
Yep. And was probably putting up buckets too.
Oh yeah, I get there, do my thing.
All right, this one, man. Because this one is we see the game going on, but you've been talking about just knowing yourself, but a lot of people, and if you can speak to it, just your spirituality.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I'm very grounded when it comes to God. And I just want to tell people, like, I know this segment is about basketball and sports and athletics, but
and life though, Jobba, and life though.
And life. Yeah, I'm sorry. And life. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but I just want to say, man, like, it's bigger than what we're doing right now, man. It's big, man. Like, this is the fellowship. This is where love and compassion for one another starts. You know what I'm saying? We all holding hands and we bowing our hands and we praying at the same time before we play. You know what I'm saying? And that's my fraternity brothers, man. And this is just a fellowship. And man, that's just a lovely thing right there, man. But I used to always implement that at time to shine. We said our prayers before we got on the court, and I just feel like that should be still implemented in everything that we do in life.
Yeah, and so like the my company name is Bless the Ball, right? And it's because
that's dope.
And if you've ever played basketball, you understand that it's really a blessing, because if you've ever had a broken, a twisted ankle, a jammed finger, any type of injury, and you weren't able to play, it drove you crazy, and when you got back,
it drove me crazy last year when I had knee surgery.
Yeah.
To go to the gym and watch my brother and them play in the 40 and over and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was sick, man. I was sick.
So, when you get back, you understand it was such it's a blessing to be able to play. But also, I've flipped it too, dual meaning, because for them people that's out there balling, right, that's living in the street, well, it's a blessing each and every day that they wake up, to be able to ball, you know what I'm saying? Because even though they ball and doing whatever they doing in the street, somebody is doing for them what you doing in this picture. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
You know, now, and I took the caption to this picture out because I wanted to see if you remember what the caption that you put in here. It was one word.
I think it was not passion. It was love or something.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, it was peace.
Can you talk about how important it is, man, to be able to have peace of mind?
Yeah, man. Like sometimes basketball is my sanctuary, and I don't care how old I get. I just like the smell of the wood. And you know, some people do yoga, and some people meditate.
Yeah.
Some people take walks in the park and have that time to themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes the gym is euphoric and nostalgic to me, where just being in the gym is a calm.
Yeah.
It's a peaceful place for me, and it's where I can be emotional. It's where I can be whoever I want to be inside those lines and in the gym amongst my peers.
Yeah, I love it. So I got two more. I got this one and I got one more.
Legend.
Yeah.
Scoop Jackson. That's Chicago coach right there, man. If you don't know who he is, please look him up. Scoop Jackson.
Please look him up. Okay. I got to go here.
That's the love of my life. That's my mama. That's the love of my life. Man, that's a bomb right there. That's blood.
Yeah.
And that's so much, man. Like everywhere we went, my old man went.
Yeah.
We was like four brothers. Even though that was our daddy, he was our brother.
Man, super cool dude, man. Super cool dude.
Yeah, I miss him. This the new love of my life right here.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the love of my life, man. That's my girl, man. She got my back. 1,000. I got hers. 1,000. We got a bond in a place. Man, it's hard to explain, but I love that girl to death.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. And so, you know, we gonna stop there with that one. Now, let me take you to the hot seat real quick, man. And okay. Before I get to that hot seat, again, I just want to thank you, for taking this time, man, coming on here, helping bless the people, with good word, good fellowship, and as you said, we talk basketball and want to help the parents and the student athletes and the coaches, but I think this one helped people, what I'm saying, all around. I say that this is nothing more than a personal and professional development show, and right. We just use basketball, to as the carrot,
exactly,
to be able to instill those things that we need to instill. So,
right.
And that's why I said that was the purpose of writing this book, just understanding life through the game of basketball. Everything that we talked about, today were all basketball principles that right. we've been able to carry along throughout life. And so, just some housekeeping, this is the first one. This is the first one that I wrote. And this is the one that like means so much to me, because
I gotta get that from you. I gotta get one.
Okay, definitely. Because I was taught this by, if it's Sonny Parker, Dan Davis, I was just taught how to use basketball principles to help with life, and I still use it. So that was the first one, and then the second one, you've been talking about mindset, being mentally tough, being able to go through, adversity. And how can you deal with that mentally? And so the second book that I wrote was just for all athletes, creating the perfect storm. As you said in the Gardens, you was in the zone. Well, when you ask most athletes, how does it feel to get in the zone? Most can't really tell you, because it's a feeling that it's hard to explain. But I'm pretty sure throughout your time, you've been able to make yourself get into a certain state of mind to where you can kind of create your perfect storm to
Most
where
definitely.
you own it in offense, defense, you know, all of that. And so this book like goes through the, you know, the things as you talked about, meditation, you know, being able to visualize, you know, being able to see things before it happened. So
Right.
now once you get in that moment, you already have experienced it because, you know, you were doing the things necessary to be able to get there. So I got both of these books, man, actually in a bundle. You know, I don't necessarily sell them separate, and I use it with my school programs. You know, my character
I'm most definitely gonna purchase them from you.
Development programs. And so, you know, I have both books, and you know, and I actually got it in a bundle with the first 2 seasons of this show. This is our 4th season, you know, 22nd episode. But not only do you get the 2 books, but you get the 2 seasons of probably about 20-30 hours of basketball talk like this that helps in life. So it's, you know, no greater time to be able to sit and learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can I learn from you? What can we learn from others? What can others learn from us? To where go back to what you were saying earlier, to where we can continue to add value to each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's big. So I dropped that, you know, link, you know, in the chat. You know, definitely, you know, John Porter's, I definitely drop it in the chat. But I'm gonna ask this question out the door. And I normally make it a Chicago question, but I'm gonna change it now, and I'm gonna ask you, if you could pick one, who you taking? Jesse James or Tracy Webster?
Tracy Webster.
Why?
He's one of the best point guards I've ever seen with my own eyes.
Oh, I love that.
Left-handed. I used to watch Tracy when he was in 5th grade, dribbling up and down 154th Street with a tennis ball.
Oh,
when he was going to kick.
Yeah.
Tracy Webster, this dude here played at Thornton, went to Wisconsin. He led the Big Ten in steals and assists. Played with Mike Finley. I mean, Tracy Webster was it's just hard to explain. That dude was tough. That dude was tough.
Yeah.
Left-handed, so smart. Him and Bobby Smith.
Yeah.
Rich Central.
Yeah.
They both played like Kenny Anderson.
Yep. And they were stocky. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't small point guards.
They wasn't no little skinny little guards. They were some tough, big little guys.
Now, who's the best player that you've seen or played against to come out of Harvey?
The best player that I've seen in Harvey. Shoot.
That's why it's called the hot seat, right?
Yeah, you sure put me in it too. Ooh, Lord. Oh man, the best player in Harvey
that you've seen with your own eyes or you played against?
I want to say Darren Gass.
Oh, okay. Why?
Could nobody stop him? He was a man child. He used to wear that tape on his fingers and those glasses.
Yep.
Darren Gass. Oh yeah, Darren Gass, bro. Because if I start naming other names, none of those names that I would name can guard him.
Okay. Yeah, that's big.
So Darren Gass, probably
Darren
one
Gass.
of the best players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best basketball moment ever.
What, personal moment or just basketball moment?
Yours, personal moment as a like on any side of basketball. Best basketball moment for Jobba Maxey.
When I won a national championship on ESPN and my father was right there with me at the game and my whole family was watching it back in Harvey together. They had a big party while I was on ESPN and my dad and my grandmother was there.
Oh, I love that.
And they both passed away. So that was my best moment after I wanted to look and my father had his hands up.
Yeah.
He had a bench. I mean, behind it, like right behind the bench in the crowd. I'll never forget that. That was my best basketball moment ever.
Yeah, I can see it in your eyes and hear it in your voice, just going back to that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw the question at you. Jamie Brandon or Marcus Liberty?
Ooh, I love both them brothers.
Yeah.
Both my guys. Jamie Brandon.
Okay, why?
6'4", can do it all. Marcus Liberty, 6'8". Marcus couldn't shoot like Jamie.
Yeah, yeah.
Jamie was a dog. They both was dogs. Ooh. Oh man. Oh man, that's tough, bro. Oh, that's tough. Marcus Liberty was a dog too.
Yeah. Hey,
the Statue of Liberty.
In 1987, the Chicago Sun-Times, and I still got this picture. I was in 7th grade. Chicago Sun-Times had a picture of Marcus Liberty on the front page, and he had his King jersey on with the number 30. And the quote underneath his picture said the name on Marcus Liberty's jersey also applies to him. King.
Yeah. Marcus, my man, too.
Yeah.
Man. Him and Jamie.
Yeah.
They was two special guys.
Yeah. Like, and really two totally different players.
Two totally different players.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's tough. I hope they ain't looking at this right now, but I'm gonna just say Jamie. I'm gonna tell you why. I was at Thornton High School. Jamie Brandon come walking through the hallways looking for Tracy Webster.
Ooh.
He was like, he skipped school, him and Johnny Silver. Where Tracy at? I'm giving him 30 plus tonight.
Damn.
He did.
Did he?
Jamie was a bug, bro.
Damn.
Hey man, but hey, that was a hell of a question there, boy. That was a hot seat question.
All right, well, and now this got to be a Harvey question here, man. Sam Mack or Roe?
Sam Mack or Rodell?
Yep.
Ooh, I'm going with Rodell Davis.
Okay.
Sam can stroke it, but Rodell Davis, bro. Oh my goodness.
He could play. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Rodell Davis one time, and I saw them playing against Eric Anderson. And the ball was scrambled underneath the basket. Everybody all around the basket.
Yeah.
Rodell Davis picked that mug up, jumped straight up backwards, dunked on everybody.
Unheard of, man. So now let me ask you this question, man, in closing. We already talked about what Harvey means to you. What does the game of basketball mean to Jobba Maxey?
Man, the game of basketball means so much to me, bro. I can't lie. I'm so passionate about this game. My girl think I'm crazy because I still want to go out and play. But I have such an uncanny love for this game, not only from where it took me from, but it was where it took me to, and the people that I met through my life.
Yeah.
It's something about this game that it's like music. It's something that it's like music to me, man. And I love music. I love listening to music. But basketball is just such a peaceful, artful sport to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how beautiful it may be, it's like a sport that's so beautiful, but it's so intense at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful sport. It's like poetry in motion, the way you watch players move around the court, the way they contour their bodies, making crazy moves, and you dribbling the basketball while doing it.
Yeah.
With 10 players running around. It's just a beautiful thing. I love the game so much. I love it, man. It has created such a beautiful space in my life, and created such beautiful friends that I hold near and dear to my heart to this day. One of my best friends, man, that live out of town, his name is Chris Eden. I would have never met him if it wasn't for basketball. Like I look at, basketball and the people and the things that I've done, and I didn't make millions of dollars of money like that.
Right.
I was just happy to be playing.
Right.
At the end of the day, I was just happy to be playing.
Yeah.
And I never forget when I was playing pro, I got frustrated about some things. And back then there wasn't no cell phone. So I
Right.
had this little card, little payphone card.
Yeah.
And I was like homesick and I wanted to come home. And one of my guys from New York named Artie Shalano, I never forget him. He was like, man, you talking about going home? I said, it's a million people want to be where you at right now.
Wow.
A million people where you want to be at right now. You go home and you will see all of them.
Yeah.
They'll be happy to take your spot.
Yeah.
And he put a lot of perspective on that in my life. And I never got frustrated with it again.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And that's beyond basketball, man. Like we got to count our blessings. I mean, we're starting to do it now, obviously, because of what's going on, but like it's a lot of people that love to be in your space. And oftentimes we don't stop and appreciate or be thankful for the things that we have. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's big if it's with playing a sport or just, in life, like be thankful for what we have. And then going back to what you said earlier, stop trying to be like or get what everybody else got, because what's for you is for you.
It's for you.
And, and what's for somebody else is for somebody else, man. But I definitely, appreciate you, taking the time, man, to he's
Kenny Miller. Tell Kenny. Hey, tell Kenny he's too big and strong, man. We would have to me and Jeff have to straight out savvy them two all day.
But yeah, man, I definitely, appreciate you spending this time, man. I didn't even know we was gonna be on this long, but as you say, the conversation is, organic, genuine, and I'm happy that I was able to take you down memory lane, even with, recalling these stories. If it's about, from Harvey, from your mom, from your dad, your lady, just basketball in general, I definitely appreciate that. But in closing, man, can you tell us how can we make basketball better?
I think we can make basketball better here in Chicago, man, if we come together and leave all the competition, the personal competition alone, and be able to take care of basketball here in Chicago and build it together, because we are basketball. Basketball is us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be here when we gone, but let's take care of it while we're here.
Yeah.
And so we can have stories.
Yeah, I love that, man. And you got a whole lot. Like I said, man, what T Webb said to me, said, man, ain't no telling what type of stories Jobba gonna have, because he got so many more. Now, I would be a bad host if I didn't ask this question and we talking about Harvey. Danye Witcher.
Man, I can't even explain how much of a good dude he was and how good he was. I mean, it's hard to explain. Danye Witcher was a special basketball player and a real special guy.
Yeah.
No matter how much money they had, he was a genuine dude. They opened their doors in that big old house to everybody.
Yeah.
And Danye felt like we was all his brothers.
Yeah.
And he treated us all like his brothers. He wasn't arrogant.
Yeah.
It ain't his fault that his family had some money.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that didn't bother him.
Yeah.
What he had, because he let us all a part of that life. He let us all feel like we had the same thing he had by opening up his doors to all of us from Harvard.
Yeah, man. And I mean, shit, it damn near get me choked up to even ask that question. You know what I'm saying? But now in the same token, Michael Allen.
Another dude, man. I love his whole family. Don just came to our skate party before the coronavirus stuff.
Okay.
And she actually took a picture with my girl, and I was telling my girl who she was. Yeah. But Mark and Don and Mike, they was like our brothers and sisters, me, Jeff, and Bub. You know, we grew up with each other. So, and Mike was one of the baddest, because Antoine Walker would tell you that out of his mouth, because he scored 55 on Mount Carmel. Easy 55 in a game. But and he was, you know, when we used to play against those guys back Cooper Park, you know, Al and Mike, and they had their squad, and you know, me and my brothers, we had our squad, and we would play against them. To this day, Skinny Al would say, boy, if there's one person that gave you hell, was Mike Allen and Reese Scott. On the court, I couldn't stand their ass, but in real life, they was both my they both my two little bros. But yeah, when you know, to hear about, you know, when to lose a brother like Mike and to lose a brother like Danye, it affected all of us, man. From Harvey, man, and it affected everybody. And I'm glad that Butch had his camp go on for all those years. I hope he's still doing it, hopefully. But it was just good that his legacy will live on. And you know, in that order, man.
Man, hey, you know, that was well said, you know, and you know, to not get on, you know, so much of a somber note, but that was well said. But you know, again, man, I hope that somebody learned something from this episode. You know, go back and watch it all. You know, I always say, man, I got about almost three pages of notes from just, you know, sitting listening to you, you know, just, you know, want to be a student. And, you know, so y'all go back, listen to this, you know, again, you know, it'll be up for a while, and, you know, share it. But, you know, really educational, really informative, you know, thank you, man, you know, for all the things that, you know,
thank you, man, for having me, man. Hey, look, my girl, so check this out. My girl, you know, she can't work for ABC. Well, she worked for ABC and Windy City Live, and they can't be on. But she doing this like every day. You know what I'm saying? Like every day, she got they set up. I feel like I set my little camera up.
Yeah, man, and you know, I mean, she does a great job too. My kids used to actually go to this, you know, school with her kids, you know, out in South Holland. We ain't gonna say the name of the school, but you know, so you know, there, you know, at that time, you know, she's a great person, you know, friendly as well too, you know, so y'all make a great match, man. But you know, from the bottom of my heart, man, and you know, I used to always be like, Jobba, man, you know, I'm standing, brother Jerron, cuz he used to always be like, man, I know who you are, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I mean, you've always been open, you know, and receptive to me, you know, and just dropping jewels and dropping knowledge, even if it's a one sentence or, you know, whatever, you know. So from my heart to yours, you know, I definitely, you know, appreciate this time, you know, and I hope that, you know, myself as well as the audience was able to make the show much more grander than you even thought that it could be. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man, I definitely, you know, appreciate it. And I always,
too, man.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I always end the show, man, you know, with this same saying, because it's so true, you know, that we need to continue, man, to strive for the top, you know, no matter what it takes, because it's crowded as hell at the bottom.
Sure is.
You know, we got to understand that, man. So, you know, until next time, you know, Jobba, you know, I definitely, you know, appreciate it. Win a Harvey World, baby. Yes, sir.
Yes,
man,
sir.
I, you know, definitely appreciate it. Until next time, everybody, you know, on behalf of myself and Jobba Jordan, we thank y'all for tonight, and we will see you again. Peace.
Peace out.
All right, Jay, I appreciate